Good morning, everybody. The drama just never ends here in Philadelphia. I'm the Mike Missanelli Show. I am Mike Missanelli, and we're with Bill and with Ray today. And we're going to have a little fun today because I think this is going to be a day where we kind of battle with fans. Not battle like, getting on the front lines and shoot at each other, but kind of like, in theory, battle with fans on what the responsibilities are of the press and how fans think and whether fans actually think alike on certain subjects like us. So let's start with the news of the day. They get Zack Baun done. Now, yesterday we were on the air and we said, yeah, it's going to get done. We felt really confident that they were going to make this happen. And soon enough, the show gets over and a couple hours later, boom, they announce he signs a new deal where he's going to get like $17 million a year, which is a hefty raise from what he was making last year. And now does he deserve it? 1 year worth of production. But this is a new era, man. This is a new era in Eagle football where goodwill plays a very important part. And the fan base would have really been upset had they not gotten this done. And I think Howie's smart enough to know that. But more importantly, how he fits in with the defensive coordinator and what he did last year, what his character is, all that stuff. When you look at Saquon Barkley and Zack Baun, you don't have to worry about them being knuckleheads, right? These guys are hard-working guys. They come to play. They come to produce. Zack Baun has been kind of underappreciated for a lot of his career, got a chance to play, and boom, he rewarded you. But I think he's an earnest gent. And so for me to look at him as, well, he got more money than probably he deserves with his performance so far, but that 1 year gets him to be the fourth highest-paid linebacker in football, which is, hey, good for him. He seems like a good guy. He seems like he knows what's up. So I don't have a problem with play. To me, players like that are no risk. Saquon's a no risk. Zack Baun is a no risk. And even though you're overpaying a linebacker, and you may cringe if you're Howie that you have to pay that much money for a linebacker, but there was really no choice to do it. Now, what does that mean? It probably means that nobody else is going to be signed. I mean, I don't know who else they can sign with the cap being eaten. What did they have? Like $23 million available. And so they'll spend 17 on this guy. It doesn't leave a lot of money left, even if they restructured Saquon's contract. So there you go. That's the news of the day with Zack Baun. Now, the most interesting thing to talk about is what we talked about yesterday, where we were kind of getting accused of being anti-Philadelphia Eagle. And all we were doing was discussing a situation that CJGJ put out there in public. And we were wondering, like, what it was about. And I really gave him the benefit of the doubt. I gave Slay the benefit of the doubt as well. Saying, you know what, Slay just the first guy that came to his mom's dream blanket ship. I don't think it was an outward diss. I think that, I don't think there's any problems between the two gentlemen. But the more you looked at the CJGJ tweet, he was hinting at disrespect by somebody. And the two theories where he was hinting at disrespect by the Eagles, that they didn't talk to him about a new deal while they gave Saquon a new deal, and they were on the verge of giving Baun a new deal. And the other theory was, well, is there a beef going on with Darius Slay? And so today, we find out that there was a beef. Bill, now, I know you have Bill Colarulo's here, Ray's here. Hi, Bill. Good morning to you.
What's going on, my brother?
This is going on.
Yeah, a lot going on.
So, first of all, what is that sweatshirt? That is an ugly sweatshirt.
So it's funny. I said that to Salciunas when I came in. I loved the sweatshirt. I bought it in New Orleans. I loved what's on the chest, right? The logo, and it says New Orleans. But then they busied it up with the sleeves. But I wanted to buy something when I was in New Orleans. This was before the Super Bowl, so I didn't want to get anything with the Eagles logo on it because if they lost. But they busied up the sleeves. Like this, you would agree. Like the logo and the New Orleans, I like.
No, New Orleans, I don't like at all.
See, I like these two.
Well,
but they busied up the sleeves too much. That was my thoughts on it. But it's a comfortable sweatshirt. Certainly wasn't cheap, being that it's official Super Bowl
I got to be
gear.
honest with you. I'm going to tell you straight out because I tell you my honest opinion. That's an ugly sweatshirt. That's a terribly. First of all, to have New Orleans on the front, it's like you bought it at an airport. I've been to New Orleans. I'm a tourist.
No. It's New Orleans and the Super Bowl
logo would speak for itself. You don't have to have the New Orleans part on it. We're going to take a poll on it.
It doesn't say. Yeah, I went on the YouTube chat.
Did you ever buy a shirt at an airport that had the city's name on it?
When I forgot to get someone a gift, maybe.
All right.
Never for myself.
Well, that's why, because it's gauche. It's touristy.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I think people would agree with me. The chests are fine. The New Orleans and
I'm telling you,
they busied it up.
No. But the majority of people, before I even get to the sleeves,
they did the
majority of people are going to look at New Orleans like you're a tourist.
Want me to turn around and show you the back? There's even more.
Let's see the back.
It's even worse.
Let's see the back. Super Bowl out.
It's a very busy sweatshirt.
Why would you buy that?
I wanted something to commemorate the amazing few days you and I had. I wanted to commemorate the amazing few days you and I had in New Orleans.
You could have bought 100 other things that would commemorate it.
Well, I bought my wife a sweatshirt. It's great. It's very subtle. There's just a small little logo. But this, I don't know.
This is ugly sweatshirt day.
I need a YouTube
so
poll.
Apparently I didn't get the memo.
Well, Ray's got a nice sweatshirt.
I don't know. Ray, do you like this sweatshirt?
Yeah, it's too much on the sleeves, man.
The sleeves, right? But you're okay with the chest.
You like New Orleans on the front?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. That's the worst part of it.
New Orleans,
before I even get to the sleeves.
Nah, see, I think I could handle the sleeve. It's the fleur-de-lis that they put on the left. Anyway, let me make some points here.
All right, let's go.
Let me make some points.
I got diverted. I need sunglasses. So looking at that thing all day. All right, let's move on.
I'll get you one. You know, I'm going to order. Actually, this was expensive. I'm not buying you one.
But expensive?
Yeah, it was very expensive.
Oh, my God.
It's authentic, man. It's official Super Bowl gear.
A bargain rack sweatshirt. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Bad. This is very, very bad.
Brandon, if you're out there, put a YouTube poll. See if they like the sweatshirt or not. But let me say this. Before we get into the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson drama, I do want to give a lot of credit to Howie Roseman for showing an ability to evolve. Because one of the things that I was very critical of him over the years is he struggled in drafting defensive talent. Well, that has completely changed. He's decided to go against what he would normally do. They take Quinyon Mitchell in the first round, a corner for the first time since 2002. Then we constantly hear that they don't pay running backs. Well, they go out and they make Saquon Barkley the highest paid running back in the entire National Football League. And then we hear, well, they don't pay linebackers, and now they make Zack Baun the fourth highest paid linebacker in the National Football League. I love that they have shown an ability to evolve and stay ahead of the curve, and that's why I think the Eagles are one of the best run franchises in the entire NFL.
I'll agree with that.
But now let's get to the drama.
Okay.
So yesterday, Ray, do you still have the audio that we played of Darius Slay? So maybe we should play this, Mike, and then I could add. It'll add some context. For the people who didn't
hear it yesterday, let's play what Darius Slay had to say, which apparently triggered CJGJ.
Piece about that, yes, I do, because I do got a great leadership role in that secondary room. But I won't be surprised if Reed and them guys like Reed can advance these guys. Reed being around me and a lot of other veterans that have been here before, and I'm sure he could lead that group the right way. So that's who I feel will be leading the group. Is if we're finding in that building is Reed Blankenship, because he's a great leader. You know what I'm saying? He is a great damn leader. If they bring another veteran in that's already been playing a lot, I can see them coming in and being a leader as well. But for sure, if I'm not in that room, Reed Blankenship, will be a great, tremendous leader, a great one. And, I'm going to miss it.
All right. That's what he said. Now, this is why I thought it was innocuous. He also didn't mention, in addition to CJGJ, he didn't mention Cooper DeJean. He didn't mention Isaiah Rodgers. He didn't mention Keely Ringo.
Let me stop you. So that is the audio we heard, right?
Uh-huh.
One of the things that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson retweets today is someone saying, bro, he's talking. Now, this is, again, let's go back. Because I'm going to get there, Mike. Apparently he did. So after we hear this clip, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson tweets out, the slick sneak dissin' is crazy. Follows it up with, you would think feelings would be mutual after a great season, but I, twin, keep that bleep solid. This is nothing about our team, trust we good, right? And then everyone starts coming, you guys are making it more than it has to be, all that.
Yeah.
Well, here's where it gets interesting. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson retweets yesterday, someone saying, bro, he's talking about the secondary next year. Earlier in the clip, he mentions Ringo, Rodgers, Reed. Why leave CJ out? Now, you're right. He doesn't reference Quinyon or think, but he talks about, here's where it gets more. He retweets again, Chauncey. I mean, not going to lie, it's kind of odd he didn't bring CJ, a proven vet, that changed that secondary into the conversation. And then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson retweets an hour ago. This is now his words. This is why I think it's okay he didn't do Cooper or Quinyon. This is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson 1 hour ago. If we need a vet that played a lot to help us, sheesh, didn't learn from that last mistake, he retweets, remember this, CJ brought the fight we didn't have in 2023. 49ers walked through the Eagles pregame. Not one person stood their ground. And then he says, Chauncey, the last vet that replaced me helped y'all get the door in the wild card round. 100. Remember that. So he's mad at the they need a vet comment. So I don't think he's worried about the rookies, Quinyon and Cooper. Chauncey, and there's more. We'll get into more coming up because he's been retweeting all morning.
If they bring in a vet. I don't think he said if we need a vet in that tweet. All right, we'll talk about it because I want people to accuse us of trying to cause trouble when my man just mouthing off. 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Off to a flying start here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitalico, and Silvana Kelleher.
Mike Missanelli Show. Mike Missanelli trying to work with a bad sweatshirt today. Every time I look over, I get crazy. See, I gave, you know what I did? I gave you a slick sneak diss. But twin, we good.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go tweet about it. Maybe I should. Is Ray in there? Where's Ray?
I don't know where he is.
Did he pass out there? Is he all right?
Is he okay?
I don't see him anywhere.
He's not in the studio.
There's nobody to lower the music.
There it goes.
It's on replay.
What the hell is going on here?
Where's Ray? Oh, here he
there
comes.
he is.
We thought we lost you, Ray.
Oh, Dylan didn't check his phone, so no, he's not helping me out.
Where were you?
I had to go to the bathroom, but the bathroom taken down here on the 4th floor, so I had to run upstairs to the 5th
You know
floor.
what that is? That's a sleek sneak diss, bro. But Twin, we're good.
Let's give some more to this because there are some people, as you know, you've been doing this long enough, who are going to blame us for creating drama.
Let's time at this guy who's blaming us. What's his name on the chat?
INS.
YouTube chat, INS. Guy, what did he say?
I assume this is what he's referring to. Is he said that I am embarrassing. So I don't know.
You're embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it because of the sweatshirt or is it because of what you said?
Well, I asked him for clarification. And he's not responding on what's embarrassing.
Come on, INS. What's embarrassing?
Because I said, is it CJ? Because I'm not the one tweeting like a madman.
CJ is tweeting like a crazy man that he's got a beef going with Slay. So now it may not matter. Slay might not be with the squad next year. But it's certainly talkable. Like, what do you expect us to do? Stop it now, you. What's this INS guy? Call in, INS. I want to talk to you right now. 610-632-0975.
He clarified.
What was the clarification? Your sweatshirt?
No. Apparently, a friend of mine from the golf club, I guess, was defending the sweatshirt in the chat.
Oh, okay.
And he's telling me
about the sweatshirt.
Yeah, he's saying that my friend's embarrassing me by sticking up for me in the chat. All right, INS. I thought you were taking a shot at the tweets.
So, listen. If you want to take a shot, that's fine. I love it when people take shots because I want to talk to you about why you think like this is an appropriate conversation. It's not. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a loudmouth. Now, go on.
All right, so there's more tweets.
There's more tweets.
This is all within.
So whatever Slay did really tweaked him, and I go, come on, man, you're still on the team. He's not looking for a job right at this point. Like, what's the point of all this?
Yeah, so, I mean, this is all within the last hour. He's tweeted a bunch. So he goes on to say, vet presence is always needed, don't get me wrong. But, bro, what vet is needed when young guys can hold their own, Q and Coop, and you got a crazy duo with Reed and me, and the supporting cast, Ringo, Zay, Andre, Sam, Eli, Sidney, and Tristan, stay with the youth if you ask me. So, again, he's mad that Slay mentioned that they should bring in a vet, or that if they brought in a vet.
He didn't say, he said, hey, I don't know, they're bringing a vet. He didn't say they need to bring in a vet because CJ Gardner-Johnson's not good enough as a vet. He's just talking. I'm not a Slay fan, to be honest with you, because I think he talks too much, too. But, like, in this case, I go, dude, stop it. You're in a good spot.
But I think this retweet from yesterday, I think, tells the story that we're not making this up here. CJ Gardner-Johnson retweets somebody saying, in referring to the Slay clip, bro, he's talking about the secondary next year. Earlier in the clip, he mentions Ringo, Rogers, and Reed. Why leave CJ out? It almost seemed intentional. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson retweets that. So he feels that Slay intentionally did not mention him when he was on his podcast. So there's probably some sort of quote-unquote beef that we don't know about.
Let me ask you this. Can Winston Wolf, alias Big Dom, can he fix this? Can he call C.J. Gardner-Johnson? Yo, home. What's up? You know, come on now. Don't ruin our vibe.
I just don't understand
Let the fixer get involved. Come on, Big Dom.
I don't understand it because, look, if Slay did it intentionally, then that's a problem. But if you had an issue, we talked about this yesterday, like if you said something about me that bothered me, I would talk to you directly. I wouldn't tweet about it.
Well, that's what people do now. Twitter beats are common.
But between teammates?
Yeah, well,
I mean, he's not technically a teammate
obviously
anymore.
They're not close enough where he felt comfortable enough to call him and say, hey, yo, what's up? So he does it this way. They all do it. Look at the beefs. Look at the beefs that go on in the R&B rap world. Look at the beefs in sports. They're always doing it through X or Twitter.
I understand that. Less than a month after you've won the Super Bowl together?
There's no filter. There's no filter on these guys. They got that social media access. They're going to go wail away. And sometimes when you fire something out there, have you ever put something out there, you know what, I wish I didn't put that out there. Yeah. But you do it in the emotion of something.
And here we go. Mm-hmm. This is what I was waiting on. one of our resident trolls on the YouTube chat, Dave, tweet speculation as a daily content is a commentary on the sad state of affairs in Philly sports that are currently in season. So it's like, once again, we talked about this yesterday. As sports talk hosts who talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, how do we ignore that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going on a Twitter rampage right now, retweeting feverishly all morning?
I'm going to give that guy the benefit of the doubt. I think he's really taking more of a shot at the lack of good sports content.
Gotcha.
And he's saying, we have to resort to this because the other the teams are actually letting us down. So I'm going to give that guy a benefit of the doubt. But he has, he can clarify it. Are you coming at us or are you coming at the teams?
Yeah, come on, Dave. Let me know. Now they're getting mad that I called Dave a troll. They're saying he's not a troll. My apologies, Dave, if you're not a troll. Sounds like you're trolling, but clarify and I'll let Mike know. If you're trolling,
come out and admit the troll, and we'll deal with it.
But look, when they say a sad state of affairs, we could be talking about how excited we are that Zack Baun got re-signed, but instead what's making the news right now is CJ and Slay battling.
Yeah, well, we're not going to getting excited about a guy signing a contract. Like what?
To me, that was the number one free agent priority.
And they did it. So where's the conversation? Oh, it's great that they did it. End of story.
Well,
the conversation is more in this.
The conversation
is the CJ Slay conversation.
Can you even
conversation? What are you going to have a conversation? Bill, they've re-signed Zack Baun, $17 million a year. Mike, that's great. Bill, yeah, it is.
Does this make them the premier destination? We can talk about that. But let me ask you now.
What?
With this Slay CJ beef, and we can talk about it on the other side. The big question is Slay saying he would come back if the terms are correct, and they were right. Can you bring Slay back now? I mean, because clearly CJ's going to be here.
Yes, you can bring him back. You let those guys handle it, and you let the leaders handle it. Who's the leader? Slay. Mike Missanelli Show returns after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Zach is back. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to the Woods linebacker hitting the open market next week. The All-Pro will now be signed to the 2027 season, his age 31 season. This comes in the lead-up to the legal tampering period in the NFL opening up on Monday ahead of the open of NFL free agency next week. Tonight, the 76ers return to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. The Sixers have lost 11 of their last 12 and are the night tied for the sixth-worst record in the NBA. You can hear the game tonight right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers host the Jets at 7 o'clock tonight. You'll be able to hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. This update is brought to you by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start Indeed.com/credit. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, it's 10:30. Mike Missanelli Show. Good morning, everybody. 610-632-0975. That's how you get in. Call. You can text that number. And this is really an interesting topic for me. You know, the way social media has burst open this sports journalistic scene is interesting to me, where players do their own reporting. Like, you don't need a reporter to track down this story. They put it out there for you to absorb. They're reporting through their social media and their blogs. So Darius Slay reports that, you know, he was a leader, and he thinks that Reed could be a leader. Blah 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 blah. That's his statement as he's reporting on himself, right? So that's out in the Twitter world, the social media world. CJ Gardner-Johnson sees it and gets it a little red ass about it because he wasn't mentioned. Reed was mentioned, but he wasn't mentioned. And apparently before in that podcast, Slay mentioned some other guys. But I look at it like this is a CJ Gardner-Johnson problem. This is not a Slay problem. As much as I'd like to blame Slay, this is a guy who got an unnecessary red ass. And now he can't stop. So if he can't stop, again, people that are blasting us on social media saying, you need to contact the participants like good journalists. Beat writers can't even. Beat writers that have relationships with these guys can't even contact these guys, right? And it's not necessary. Contact them for what? They're explaining to you what the beef is. CJ Gardner-Johnson is explaining the beef like Kendrick Lamar is explaining his beef. Right?
They're
out there. They put it out there. I got a beef going with this guy, and here's why. There's no mystery to this. There's no reporting we need to do.
No, and as I'm diving deeper down the Twitter rabbit hole here, the comment that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson retweeted about it seeming intentional that Darius Slay left him out is actually a comment under the video of Darius Slay leaving him out. I mean, so there's no need to guess here. This is exactly what they're talking about.
But here's what it is when it comes to journalists. If you cover the Eagles, and this is out there now, they've already put it out there for you on a platter, then you go, I never noticed there was a beef between these two guys. Maybe that's my next story. Then they follow it up. That's
Correct.
what a good journalist does. We have the conversation about it.
Correct.
We're not filing a story about it. We have the conversation about what's already out there that we didn't put out, they put out.
Correct. I'm with you on this, man. But like you had said yesterday, a lot of fans
take the athlete's side.
Yes, they want to blame the media.
Because, listen, when I go to my grave, my last words are going to be, the media was disrespected. It's like when Orson Welles said, and Citizen Kane said, Rosebud. I'm going to say the media was disrespected.
Ray, did you get that Citizen Kane reference?
No, I thought he was going to go Bosco, but, you know.
But yeah, Bosco was the last words of Jay Peterman's
Wait, is
mother.
Citizen Kane...
Did you get that Seinfeld reference?
Citizen
Bill?
Kane, a lot of people think is the best movie of all time.
Is that the movie that Carmela and all the girls watch in The Sopranos?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you know it. You don't know it as the actual classic
I never
movie.
watched it. I know it's supposed to be a
It was
classic.
kind of like a expose of William Randolph Hearst, the media magnate. But it was Charles, whatever his name was in Citizen Kane. But his last words were, Rosebud.
Gotcha.
And that was the sled that he used to ride on as a kid before his life got turned around by being thrown into boarding school. So he lost his innocence, basically. And at the end of the movie, he says, Rosebud. Because that was the most precious thing that he ever had. It was the sled as a kid. You get it? It was deep, Bill.
I love it, man. I may go home and watch it tonight, right?
You should. You should.
It's in black and white, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's Orson Welles.
Nah, can't do it.
He's the,
The only black and white movie I'll watch is Wizard of Oz, because
You can't watch a black and white movie?
then they go. No, actually, one of my favorite movies of all time, going way back. I wonder.
Schindler's List.
I wonder if some people
What?
know what this is. Stalag 17.
Yeah, I know the movie. I haven't seen it.
William Holden's in it. Great movie, dude. Black and white
Look at
movie.
you, going old school.
Yeah, I love that movie. Stalag 17.
Little Billy watched that with with your pop.
Little Billy watched
Yeah.
that movie a lot. I wonder if there's anybody in the YouTube chat who even knows what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's Stalag 17. It's considered, like, if you look at a list of movies that's on it.
But, yeah, so unfortunately, this Chauncey thing. Now, you don't seem to think it's a big deal that they could still figure this out and bring back Slay.
Well, if they do bring back Slay, all it is a story that a reporter should write about, right? It's up to two men that, like, once they get in a locker room, like, this is all, like, outside the locker room stuff. Once they get in a locker room and once they get in meetings and, you bond together to have a good secondary, I don't think it means anything.
It's just interesting. You're right. Someone needs to do the story because now, is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson just overly sensitive, or does he know that there's some sort of problem between him and Slay? That he agrees, it seems intentional.
There's some kind of problem. Like, those guys probably had some kind of an edge during the season that flew underneath the radar. But, at this point, see, this is the state of journalism. This is a meaty story for a columnist.
Yeah.
A columnist should be writing about that. This is like what I think is lacking in today, where balls to the wall columns that they used to have in this city.
Yeah, someone's got to.
And then we're not the only ones who'll be accused.
The issue, though, is, and we ran into this a little bit last year when Jalen Hurts made the comments where he really didn't throw support behind Sirianni, and then everybody just dispersed for the summer.
Yeah.
We're kind of at that point now. Like,
exactly.
You can't even get a hold of Chauncey, probably.
No, you're not going to be able to get these guys, but you don't have to. There's enough information to write about this now and to talk about it right now. These two guys, well, now it would be more talkable if Slay was back as a teammate. He's not. He's in limbo right now. So really, it doesn't really matter unless they re-sign him. And you're saying that this could impact them whether they want to re-sign him or not? See, if I'm Howie Roseman, I go, I don't care a whit about this. If I can make my team better and I don't think my one cornerback is ready to be a full-time starter, if I could squeeze one more year out of Darius Slay, I'm going to do that. I don't care what his relationship is with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, because so many people have had problems with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You think Slay's the first one? Did he punch a guy in New Orleans?
Was that CJ?
Yeah.
Was that CJ?
He punched somebody. One of his teammates in New Orleans.
Oh, I'm looking this up. No, he got punched.
Oh, he got punched. All right, well, there was a beef. Somebody punched him.
Oh, I'm looking to see here.
Did he get punched in a game by an opponent?
I'm looking. Yeah,
I thought this was a New Orleans practice situation where he got.
Yeah, he got punched. He got punched when the receiver from the Bears ripped his mouthpiece out and then punched him in the face because Chauncey had ripped his mouthpiece. Let me see if there was a team-on-team
I think there
thing.
might have been a team-on-team thing, if my memory doesn't fail me. So, all right, we'll talk about it. We'll get to the text board. Our calls, 610-632-0975. Get on board. I want to talk to you today. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Start my day with a little nosh. So I go down to this new joint downstairs where our office building is. New owners have taken over. And they apparently are Armenian. Because on the menu that we've got here in the station, there were some Armenian delicacies on it. So I did a quick, figure out in my head, they must be Armenian. Because it wouldn't be just regular,
Yeah, yesterday you were looking at the
people
menu.
going to the Armenian way. So I go in there today to get what I assume to be a simple order, Bill.
It's
A sausage.
weird, but yeah.
A sausage with cheese bagel, no egg.
Yeah, you and this
Now,
no egg
on
thing.
the menu, they have breakfast sandwich. Egg, your choice of bread, bagel, bread, roll, choice of cheese, choice of bacon, sausage, and egg. So it says, the breakfast sandwich. So I go to the order place, and I go, okay, I'd like a sesame bagel with sausage and cheese. She looks at me like I'm an alien.
Well, you are.
All right, well, no, seriously. She looks at me like with this puzzled look. And I go, a breakfast sandwich with just no egg. And she looks down at the menu, and the menu says egg, and she couldn't figure out what I was trying to tell her.
Yeah, she's like, what idiot wants a breakfast sandwich with no egg?
I get defeated. And I go, yeah, you know what? Just give me a bagel and cream cheese.
Oh, that's what you ate this morning?
Right, a bagel and cream cheese. Because it was too complicated an order. What is it about people that don't like egg on the breakfast sandwich? Why are we the non-chosen people?
Because you're a weirdo, dude.
It's not weird.
How do you do a breakfast sandwich with no eggs?
Especially today, when you can sell eggs on the street, like you sell bottles of water for like counterfeit eggs, like $8.99 a dozen, whatever they are. Why would I care? I don't want eggs. I don't like eggs. And many people do not like eggs. Why is it that it's so unnatural for you to leave off the frickin' egg? All you're doing is piling on top of a sandwich anyway. You're not mixing the sausage with the eggs.
I think you're weird, dude. I think to get a breakfast
I swear
sandwich
to God,
with no...
it's the hardest thing in life to get. Nobody understands it. Like, what? You want what? Sausage without egg.
Ray, have you
sausage and cheese?
Have you worked them for your free coffee yet?
I haven't been down there yet. So
I'm telling you, it's going to be an adventure, Ray.
Well, it's never going to be as good as what
going to be an
Pagano's
adventure.
was. So I almost don't want to go down because I feel like I've built up that cafe to be something of a special spot. And
I get it. It's a beautiful spot. The way they have it organized and everything. But like even my coffee order was. I see. I don't know that you could put somebody there that doesn't really understand English. Like, 'cause I ordered coffee, and then 5 more questions came with that.
She probably understood English fine. She didn't understand why anyone would order a breakfast sandwich with no egg.
Good point.
I don't think she understood me because she looked down at the menu because she's probably a novice in English. And so she relies on the menu because she has to push in the buttons. So she has to match the order with the computer, what it says on the menu.
Gotcha.
And so I gave an unnatural order, and it flummoxed her.
Very unnatural. Very unnatural.
Speaking of unnatural, that sweatshirt. Good.
Oh, the votes are coming in, dude.
What color is it?
Yes, it's like a maroon.
It looks like it's like a brownish maroon. It's
yes,
not like a...
Yes is winning, by the way.
Yes is winning.
Now, it's a little bit skewed because they gave 2 options for no. So it's yes, no, not sure why you bought it. Right now, yes is at 38%. Do you like Bill's shirt? No at 32%. Not sure why you bought it at 29%. So I'm taking the 38%.
You're losing, basically, because the 2 negative answers are
correct.
It.
Yeah, it's about 62%.
Hi, I'm Bill, and I bought a New Orleans shirt at the New Orleans airport. So I can show everybody that I went to New Orleans.
I bought it, not because I went to New Orleans, because we covered the Super Bowl in New Orleans. So that's what it was for.
I think that the logo would speak for itself.
They didn't have one with just a logo. If it was up to me...
Where did you shop? At the
the authentic Super Bowl store.
The authentic Super Bowl store.
Next to the carousel bar that we went to.
Over under 2.5 hurricanes before that was bought.
I was dead sober for this, this purchase. Does that make it worse?
See, even Ray's starting to come around now. The more he looks at it,
Does that make it worse?
Well, it's the sleeves.
Well, it's funny because you're not telling me anything I don't know. Like, I actually said to my wife this morning, I don't know if I really want to wear this shirt. I hate the sleeves. It's too busy. And she's like, well, if you don't, what'd you buy it for if you're not going to wear it? I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'll wear it.
Well,
why did you buy it with the sleeves?
I just wanted to get something.
You could. I'm telling you, there are we're 1,000 outlets. You could have bought better stuff than that.
I know. I'm telling you, this wasn't cheap either. I think just like a $100 sweatshirt.
But that to me just speaks to maybe a couple hurricanes. You see the nice burgundy color. You like the New Orleans thing. You're like, you know what? I'm going to grab it. You take it off the rack. You don't even really look at the sleeves.
But that's not even a nice burgundy color, right?
I like the color.
It's like
I don't mind the color at
it's
all.
like a dingy burgundy.
I'm telling you, the only
I'm
problem
fine with it by the sleeves.
The only problem I have with it are the sleeves.
And the back's a little much, too.
The back, too, but I can't see it. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the bald spot. Out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
I look at myself and I'm like, oh, man, hair's coming in good. And then I get a shot from behind. I was like, ooh. That's why I shaved my head.
Huh?
Oh, people are... Great idea from Andrew on the YouTube
I've
chat.
been in New Orleans.
He goes, cut the sleeves off and show the guns. Maybe I'll go with the Bill Belichick
my
type
God.
of sweatshirt. It's a great idea, Andrew.
I wanted him to come to that realization himself. I didn't need someone else to give him
Dude,
that.
I'm cutting the sleeves. I'm coming in with the guns out.
I figured we were like a half hour away from him just saying, well, you know what? I don't even need sleeves on this sweatshirt.
Let's turn our attention to Bryce Harper, shall we?
Oh, we could talk about it on the other side.
I want to talk about.
I'm getting
Bryce
a little
Harper
annoyed,
now.
Mike. A little
Yeah,
annoyed.
you are getting a little annoyed, and this is interesting. There's some athletes that have immunity in this town. You're starting to lose the Bryce Harper immunity. I think it's very interesting. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Zach is back. I'm right done with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. The All-Pro will now be signed through the 2027 season. This comes, of course, in the lead up to the legal tampering period opening up in the NFL on Monday, ahead of the open of NFL free agency next week. Elsewhere at Philadelphia sports tonight, 76ers return to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. Sixers have lost 11 of 12 and are the night tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. You can hear the game tonight right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers host the Jets at 7 o'clock tonight, looking to bounce back off a 6-3 loss to the Flames on Tuesday. You can hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. And in spring training action today, the Phillies host the Rays with Aaron Nola on the mound. Trey Turner leading off in today's lineup with Bryce Harper following in the lineup. This update is brought to you by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Want expert tax prep? Jackson Hewitt will give you $100 to switch. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
touchdowns. 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, this is going to be a meaty topic, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about Bryce Harper here for a second. First of all, Bryce Harper, for me, has had immunity. Now, the way I look at it in Philadelphia sports history, there is a Mount Rushmore of Philly fan immunity for the following four. I'll go through every sport. Chase Utley, total immunity.
Yes. And I think rightfully so. I think the guy played his ass off.
Nick Foles, total immunity.
Yes, but did Foles ever do anything?
No, I'm just saying he has total immunity.
But I mean, saying he never had a chance to be critical of him because he wasn't here long enough.
Yeah, we had a chance to be critical of him. He sucked in a lot of his years, but nobody even remembers that.
Not here, he did.
So, yes, he did.
He didn't suck here.
He was terrible here early on.
No, he was fine.
He wasn't. He was. I mean, when
had
he
that
first
year.
started out, he was terrible.
He had that year where he threw like 28 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
And then he had a year after that was terrible, or a year before that.
They went 8-8.
Yeah. So, but
or excuse me, 6-2 in his starts. He never had a bad year. I'm looking. His rookie season, he was 1-5. Whatever. He was a rookie season was over.
People looked at him like he was like the loping giraffe back there. But my point is,
Let's make some noise. Come
he's
on.
got immunity.
Well, he had that second season here. He goes 27 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. They go 8-2 in his 10 starts.
Yeah, that was real good.
Yeah,
But
follows it up.
He also went bad.
Follows it up with a 6-2 record. And then Chip Kelly traded him to St. Louis. Bounces around, comes back, wins the Super Bowl.
He was terrible other places.
Other places.
All right.
But I mean, I don't put him in that category because he never did enough for us to be critical.
I'm giving him immunity. This is my list, okay? This is my damn Mount Rushmore.
Just like your breakfast
Unless
sandwiches.
you can come up with an eagle that has immunity, shut up with your bad sweatshirt.
Brian Dawkins.
Oh, that's right. All right, Brian Dawkins.
And he deserved it too.
Yeah, all right.
But he didn't always have a great game.
All right, you're right. So I stand corrected. Brian Dawkins. So Utley, Brian Dawkins. You ready for my flyer? It's a tie.
Can I guess it?
Go ahead. Man, you don't have to go way back in time.
Would you put Lindros on that list?
No.
Yeah, he had a lot of criticism.
No. There were a lot of.
No.
He was a divisive player in the fan base.
I'm going to say Claude Giroux.
No. Not Claude Giroux either. Rod Brindamore and Keith Primo.
Well, Primo had the concussion issues.
And he had the big goal.
The big goal in like
of the 5 overtime game.
Against Pittsburgh.
Right, but Brindamore was a ball of love. He was like the Chase Utley of the Flyers.
He was shredded to the core, man.
Yeah, of
worked
course,
hard.
He was shredded to the core.
Ends up going to Carolina.
And finally, Iverson.
AI.
Even though he did some bad things, he had total immunity. Now, Bryce Harper was in that conversation.
But Harper, all right, well, let me hear where you're going to go with this, and then I'll respond.
Well, my question is he losing that immunity because he's losing it with you?
Yes and no. Let me clarify. Bryce Harper is a tremendous baseball player. He's also a tremendously clutch baseball player. Like what he has done in the postseason for the Phillies has been phenomenal. I mean, I'll never forget the bedlam at the bank and the NLCS and all that great stuff. What has started to bother me that is wearing thin is the over-the-top pandering. And what I mean by that is not just the Fanatic gear, not just the Fanatic tattoo. It's the statements that he makes publicly where he tries to act as if he's willing to do anything. Wherever they want me to play, I'll play. Oh, yeah, I talked to them before the season. If they wanted me to go to the outfield, I'd do it if it meant getting a first baseman that could hit 35, 40 home runs. I don't believe him. I think it is more of the pandering. And someone in the YouTube chat got mad at me saying, oh, here comes Bill calling Bryce Harper a liar. Tell me this. Bryce acts as if it was the Phillies organization that wants him to play first base. Why would an organization want a guy to play first base that has a history of back injuries? Why would you put a guy at first that has back problems?
Why would you put a guy in the outfield that's back problems?
I think it's easier for him to play left field than it would be to play first base.
Well, he wouldn't have been the left fielder. He would have been the right fielder.
Put him in right and move Casty to left.
I disagree with that 100%. You have to do some things at first base, but you have to run a lot more in the outfield. You have to track balls. You have to get to the gap. You got to make longer throws. All of that torques your body more than anything.
The constant reaching at first base and bending down and all those things, I think, would not make sense for a guy.
Let's stay with the conversation here.
And hold on.
First base is the easier position.
But to take it a step further,
okay.
if he was truly willing to move on from the first base position, then they would have kept Reese. When they came to him,
let's dig into
he
that.
stayed at first, and they had to let Reese Hoskins walk.
We'll dig into that. You're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right. He did not say that with Reese Hoskins. Why? Okay. Because, A, he didn't know what his situation was going to be health-wise, so it made a lot of sense to him to move out of the outfield where he wouldn't have to throw coming off Tommy John surgery. Now, would it have helped the Phillies? Yes. Secondly, maybe he didn't really believe that Reese Hoskins was that dynamic of a force for the Phillies. He's saying this now in reference to Pete Alonso,
which is the first time we heard.
Available.
Well, the first time we heard that they even considered him.
Right. Now, let's talk about the pandering, because I do agree with you. I think that he goes overboard to bond relations with Philly fans. The Philly fanatic thing is I'm tired of it now. And then he got a tattoo of the Philly fanatic that bonds him forever. Now, he knows, because he's not stupid. He's diabolical in a lot of ways. He knows that will bond him forever with Philly fans, and they would never boo him when he strikes out like they did Ryan Howard.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
So that's a method to his madness, okay? Now, secondly here, he now is not saying he doesn't want a new contract. He is allowing Scott Boras, his representative, to talk about a contract extension, because he says he wants to play into his 40s. Now, come on, let's be realistic here. We're talking about 10 years down the road with his torque and his bat speed and the way he swings the bat and the back problems that may come, that he's going to play into his 40s. So here's what I would say. If I were the Phillies, I would rip up this contract and give him a contract that pays him more money for less of a term, to make it more commensurate with what guys are getting right now. Because he's right now like the 54th highest paid player in baseball, and that's ridiculous.
But if you lower the term of years, like how many more years would you have him here?
Well, 30, yeah. I would pay him more money now, and I would shorten the contract. That would be the compromise I would make. The Phillies don't want to be on the hook for that kind of money when he's 42 years old.
Well,
so pay him more money now until he gets to 38. That's 6 more years.
Well, he's already under contract through 2031. You're saying
I'm saying rip up the contract.
Yeah, you're saying give him more money for shorter term.
Give him more money now.
But still have it end in 2031.
No. Have it end like at 6 years. And then if you think he can play more, then he gets another contract. I don't want to. He's underpaid right now for what people are getting paid, especially with the Soto contract. It's set new heights now.
Yes.
Baseball players. So I would like to keep him happy. I would say instead of this contract extension, they want to go into his 40s, for crying out loud, but a contract extension in years.
Well, right now he's under contract until he's 38 through the 2031 season. So if you're saying give him more money now and shorten the term,
he wants the contract. Yeah, okay. So he wants the contract to go into his 40s. This is a contract extension. So say he wants 4 more years.
Yeah, it's probably
and that'll make it when he's 42 years old. Now I wouldn't do that, but I'd say here's what we'll do. To be fair, we'll give you a little more money in this contract. Now, wouldn't you have done that? Or no? You're saying, he signed the contract. They got a bargain at the time, and they should hold fast.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with them trying to give him more money. I guess the issue becomes is with the luxury tax and all that, if they try to give Bryce more money now, and instead of making it an extension, and they just try to change this contract and give him more, what does that do to them? Does that put him into the
but the point is, he is losing with you at this point. I guess his whole thing is starting to wane with you.
I guess it's just look, and maybe if I'm being honest here, maybe it's because of the disappointments over the last couple of years that the pandering is annoying me more, because I've always loved Bryce Harper. Like, my wife used to joke around going back to the 2022 World Series run, where she would say to me, I think you're in love with him. Like, I loved the guy. With the things that he was doing and how clutch he was.
You love him.
I did. But
Love
now, for whatever reason, and maybe my anger is misplaced about the first base thing
No,
or
I think
the unwillingness to move in the lineup.
And that's fair. And I think what you're saying is he doesn't really have immunity right now with you. That not everything he does is perfect. Now, it's funny how we look at some people, because I think that, obviously, I think close to 100% of the people Bryce Harper has immunity with. I don't think they think of these other things that hold him down. But it's really interesting to me how guys like Jimmy Rollins and Ryan Howard never had immunity. Aaron Nola doesn't have immunity, right? All these guys that have performed in a Philly uniform. I mean, Jimmy Rollins should be a Hall of Fame player. He doesn't have immunity with this fan base. Does Bryce Harper have total immunity with this fan base? Is the question.
Well, let's ask one of the biggest Phillies fans that's in the room.
Ray Dunn?
Does he have immunity with you, Ray?
I don't think anyone should have immunity. If he strikes out, if he struggles, we should talk about it. We should hold him to the standard of what he is.
But do you believe that the Philly fans do?
I
Have
think-
you
I
ever heard
think we
Philly fans
are-
get disgruntled when he strikes out?
Last year, when he was slumping through August, I think people began to get this.
Really?
And I honestly think that if there's another year of them falling short, I think this is like people have already started to turn Turner. People obviously have always been against Castellanos.
Oh, that's interesting. But those guys don't resonate with the fan base like Harper does. The Harper, and goes back to what Bill does, Harper panders, which helps him have immunity.
Right, but I think if this group doesn't succeed again this year to the extent that this fan base expects, which is contending for a World and pretty much being in the NLCS or going to the World Series, I think people are going to go to the point that, hey, Harper created a team of his buddies.
Yeah,
At
well,
some
that's-
point, Harper's little country club that he built here, if they don't get it done, people are going to start looking to Bryce Harper.
You think they would take that out on Harper and not the Phillies for signing these
Let's
guys?
take it out on both. Why do we got to take it
I'm
out
just
on
saying,
together?
I think that Harper might be one of these players that never gets criticized, and I think he's orchestrated that beautifully by pandering with this fanatic shtick.
Yes, he does pander, but Ray kind of took the words out of my mouth, too, which is a great point, Ray, about he created this group of his buddies, and they don't want to be uncomfortable, and that's part of the reason why I think Stubbs is still here and maybe even will make this opening day roster is because Bryce likes him in the clubhouse. Like, sometimes I get a little annoyed, as great as Bryce Harper is, that I think the the Phillies organization does a lot of things to appease him.
All right, we'll talk about this. I have to challenge that he created a team of his buddies. It's like one guy in that category. It's Castellanos.
Trey Turner, 100%.
It's a no-brainer to get Trey Turner for crying out loud. He was the best free agent on the market.
Still a bad contract.
Well, that's a Bryce Harper production?
Bad contract.
It's not a bad contract.
He hasn't lived up to it.
It wasn't a bad contract when they signed it. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
97.5 The Fanatics Knockout Tournament is back.
11:12, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. I got a lot of texts from buddies who were out of town that said, hey, has the Fanatic made a decision to stop taking phone calls? So the word on the street is you guys aren't taking any more phone calls. Like, no. We had a little problem with our phone system that blew up, and all 6 stations that are in the Beasley Media Group were affected by it. So the system needs to be updated. If you can imagine an electric grid down the eastern seaboard going out, that you have to upgrade it, and it takes a long time to do it. And so we're in that mode right now. However, we have figured out, our engineers here have figured out a way to take phone calls again. It's just that I don't see them on the board. So the phone call will come in to our phone call screener, who then shoots it into Ray, who shoots it into me.
Yes, and I think I was told, I believe either tomorrow or Monday you will be able to see.
Oh.
They're going to work on a little
Well, how about that?
little bit of a workaround. So we're making progress.
Oh, very
every day.
nice. So in the meantime, we still can take phone calls. So I know there's been that taint out there. Like the Fanatic has made a decision to stop taking phone calls. Well, that's not really the case. So you can get in at 610-632-0975. And on that note, we have one of our favorite callers who was left in a lurch for several days because he's like a daily caller. And we call him Dr. Mad Elf.
We found that out.
It is Greg from Bethlehem checking in. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen, it's nice to know that you're back on the line. I've been listening to you, but obviously haven't had a chance to call in.
Well, what have you been doing? Because I know a lot part of your day is thinking of a good topic to call in about. Like, how have you filled that space? Have you been drinking Mad Elf? Oh, no. Well, you could tell us.
Well, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And staring out of my garage into my side yard, just relaxing.
What's the Greg yard look like? Wait, what do you got in the yard there, Greg? You have a dog?
Not anymore.
Oh,
unfortunately, we had.
Do you have a bird feeder, or you have a bird feeder?
Well, no. Right now, I look out and I see deer walking through the side yard.
Look
and
at that. The serenity of Bethlehem. Greg and his deer with a Mad Elf. It doesn't get any better than that.
No. You're exactly right. I enjoy that. But
that a guy.
On the pardon me. The Darius Slay thing. I mean, I think he probably was very appropriate for what he was feeling. If it was me in his situation, regarding the leader of the defense, I don't think I would pick CJGJ either. I think you need people like that have the energy, but you need somebody that's got a little more.
But by the same token, like if I'm CJGJ, I'd be butthurt about it a little bit that he didn't mention my name. I don't know that I would blow it up like this immature guy, but CJ Gardner-Johnson is kind of immature. He's caused problems in the past. He's had problems with his teammates in the past. He's had problems on the field during a game. He's an emotional guy. And that's probably what Slay means. Emotional guys can't be leaders like that. If you make goofy mistakes like that where you get out of control, you can't be a good leader.
You and I are on exactly the same page, Mike.
Yes.
Regarding your breakfast sandwich, back in the 80s, I was a big fan of Monty.
He got zapped.
He got zapped. He was talking to me about the breakfast sandwich.
Maybe the new phone system has a time limit.
I think the new phone system is pro-egg and didn't want to hear any anti-egg agenda.
So he was going to give me he was going to bond with me over the egg?
Maybe. I could tell you could tell that Greg was a little bit rusty with the phone call.
I don't think he was. I don't think rusty would be.
I know, I'm being nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was rust. May have been elf related.
Poor Greg.
Dr. Mad Elf.
He has no, he's a retired guy sitting there in his back porch looking at deer. What else would you do?
He's living the dream.
What
man.
would you do?
He is living the dream.
Now, he could go into his closet and try to come up with some ugly sweatshirt to wear and, take the time to.
Some people really liking the sweatshirt.
I can't. I would not like to meet anybody who likes this sweatshirt. I got to be honest with you.
A lot of people like
that
it.
is it is a bad-looking sweatshirt. It really is.
You want me to take it off? I'll do the rest of the show shirtless. Does that make you happier? Probably make them too happy, Ray. When we talk about crashing things. Maybe YouTube would crash if I did that.
He's so proud of his.
I'm really not.
His muscular.
Not compared to what I used to be. I look at myself and think I'm out of shape,
Oh
man.
my God, dude, you are so obnoxious when it comes to this.
I'm serious.
You're so obnoxious.
I used to be in a lot better shape than I am now.
Shut up.
I'm about 15 pounds heavier than I was.
About your physique.
Used to be in a lot better shape.
Never saw anybody so obsessed about their physique.
I'm not really that obsessed. Not as much anymore. Used to be. I'll admit it.
Let's go to text board. I can't take this conversation anymore. So what we got on text
Anybody
board?
liking the sweatshirt on the text board, Ray?
No. You didn't get any text on the sweatshirt. Mostly because I don't think a lot of people that check in on the text board can see the show while it's happening. But we got Joe from West Philly. Darius Slay has had a career that any defensive back would envy. He's been an all-pro player. He got to the bank, and he's got the credentials to show up at a Hall of Fame type of appointment. So I think there's a little bit of sentiment from Joe that CJGJ is a little jealous of Slay's career.
I don't think he's jealous of his career. They play different positions. First of all, I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson is one of these guys that felt like he wasn't included, and he instead of just taking the hit and go, well, okay, let me put this in perspective. I'm still with the Eagles. He's at the end of his career. He couldn't look at it maturely because he's not a mature guy. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's just not.
And I agree with you. But to Slay, who was a captain on this team, and maybe he just doesn't care now because he's not on the team anymore, but if there is, in fact, mutual interest of bringing him back, not absolving CJ from overreacting, but shouldn't Slay know that CJ's like that?
Well,
Shouldn't he know if I don't mention CJ, but I mention everybody else in the secondary, and I leave him out, he's probably going to take that personally.
It was a slick sneak diss.
But that's why CJ thinks it was intentional, and maybe it was.
Well, it is possible that it was, but at this point, who has to be, who's in the better spot?
CJ right
All
now.
right, CJ's in the better spot. So if you're in the better spot, you go, all
Slay's
right,
looking for a job.
I'm a little ticked off, and if I ever see Slaying on there, but, who cares? I got a contract. We won the Super Bowl. We're going to come back next year. I'm an important player. He's not. Mike Missanelli Show continues after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
On his back, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. The All-Pro will now be signed through the 2027 season. This comes in the lead up to the legal tampering period opening up on Monday in the NFL ahead of the open of NFL free agency this time next week. Tonight, the 76ers returned to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. The Sixers have lost 11 of their last 12 and are the game tied for the sixth worst record in the NBA. You can hear the game tonight right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Again, that one starting at 7:30. The Flyers host the Jets at 7 o'clock tonight, looking to bounce back from a 6-3 loss to the Flames on Tuesday. You can hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. In spring training action today, the Phillies host the Rays with Aaron Nola on the mound. Trey Turner leads off in today's lineup with Bryce Harper batting second. This update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. Get matched and sleep at night during Mattress Firm's Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Take 120 nights to love your new bed or your money back. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
by the fanatic. Our buddy Kaz has a meme. He puts a meme out of you. But it's funny now because I look at you, really how unsightly you were with the bald head.
Yeah, that wasn't my best decision.
Now you look 100% better. You got the stubble going.
Well, we're growing it back.
The bald head and the beard. Now you got the stubble and the hair.
The hair's coming back.
Better look.
Yeah, we take a shot, though.
Let me ask you a question. Did the hair come back better?
No.
It didn't. Say, people say, well, you shave your chest, it's going to come back thicker.
Yeah, that's a lie.
It doesn't happen?
No, you see the top of the head?
Yeah, I see. You got the bald spot in the back. That's not going to... You ever think of, like, spraying it with a little, fuzzy,
yeah, that spray stuff.
Fuzzy
that
stuff?
No, I don't really care. I mean, listen, even with the bald spot, I got no problem.
Even with the bald spot, I'm jacked.
Well, I mean...
With the bald spot, I'm jacked. Right? I'm jacked with the bald spot.
I just want to...
It's all about my killer personality, Ray.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
Not going to get into that. I'm just going to pick at the I don't really care. Because didn't this all start because you cared so much that you just wanted to beat nature to what it was going to do to your hair?
True, but at the same time, it was, all right, I'm going to shave my head and see if I like it. And I dealt with it for a little while. I'm like, I don't think it looks as good. I mean, I'm not the type that's going to care so much that, well, maybe if they want to offer me hair transplants, I'll take it. If there's any hair transplant place that wants me to advertise for them, I'll do it. But I don't need to spend the money to do it. I'm fine with it.
Go ahead. Drop your email.
Yeah. Hit me up. William.Colorolo@bbgi.com. Open to all sponsorship opportunities.
So Kaz looks at your sweatshirt and he goes, "That's a sweatshirt you slap every logo on Earth on it. Like Cane's Chicken, the Fanatic logo, Amoroso's Rolls.
Like you're a NASCAR driver.
NBC, Wawa.
I'm going on Kaz's.
He's got every logo on it.
I want to go and find out. I'm looking at his
and
tweet.
He's got a tag on it that says free.
Wait, where is it? I'm not seeing it. Did he put it on his?
He sent it to me.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
It's got you saying, what? And it says free.
That's a good-looking sweatshirt he made for himself. All right, look, more importantly, I think the lineup that I want, and maybe the lineup that you want, is what the Phillies are rolling out today against the Rays this afternoon. You want to hear it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Leading off, Trey Turner. Batting second. Willing to do whatever it takes for the Philadelphia Phillies because that's who he is. Bryce Harper, baby.
There you go. He said he prefers to hit three. He's a three-hitter. But there you go. He's amenable to moving.
Batting third, Alec Bohm. And batting cleanup, Kyle
There it
Schwarber.
is. That's the lineup that we have suggested.
That's the top four. Now listen to the rest. I like this too. Batting fifth, Nick Castellanos. Batting sixth, playing left, Max Kepler. Batting seventh behind the plate, JT Realmuto. Eighth, they have Bryson Stott. And batting ninth, playing center, Brandon Marsh.
Well, so they got righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty. That's the way
until
he
8-9.
He wants to balance it.
Until 8-9. Dude, I love this lineup.
Who's he got 8?
Stott and Marsh.
Okay. I like Kepler. Kepler's got some pop. So they must like his swings in spring training to put him in that spot.
Yeah, they must. They must. He does have some pop. I mean, the issue is, I was looking at his numbers. Last year, he had reverse splits. He actually did better against left-handed pitching. But throughout his career, he's only batting .221 with a .292 OBP against lefties. So if the plan is for him to be an everyday left fielder, I hope he can hit left-handed pitching.
You know, I'm not as much on this righty-lefty kick as Rob Thompson is because when you start the game, it really doesn't matter. You're facing a starting pitcher. You got left-handers in there. Chances are you're starting a right-handed pitcher. Late innings, I guess. Like you create a lineup just so you won't have an imbalance in the late innings. Is that why you do that? Like I never was a big fan of that. I think hitters can hit if they're in any position rather than go righty lefty.
But
it doesn't matter to me.
I guess now with the new rules, when you bring in a relief pitcher, it makes it even more sense to go righty lefty. Because if you bring in a left-handed pitcher and they have to face 3 batters, right?
Yeah, but he's going to have to face a right-hander. Like, you're not going to stack 3 lefties in a row.
Yeah, but
eventually he's going to have to hit against he's going to have to pitch against a right-handed batter.
True, but if, let's say, I don't know.
Let's go to the bottom of the order, all right? They bring in a left-hander because you got Stott Marsh. Well, then you got Turner.
Yeah, but you're assuming they bring him in at the start of the inning. What I'm saying is let's say JT Realmuto's on base. Now they can bring in a left-handed pitcher and maybe retire the sides with Stott and Marsh.
Or maybe you bunt and get a guy in scoring position.
They don't do small ball anymore.
No, I guess they don't, but Stott can.
Yeah, Stott can. Look, I was looking at Marsh's numbers, too. You think they're going to let him hit lefties this year, right?
Well, that's the plan. Rojas hit a home run yesterday. I happened to be watching that when he hit it.
I mean, he only had 100. He had 110 plate appearances in 2023 against lefties. Only 90 last year. Last year he batted 192 against left-handed pitching. In the last 2 years, he's only hitting 213.
Yeah, they're taking a big leap of faith, and they may not have to alter that. They may have to then straight platoon him and Rojas.
But is it because he's not getting enough plate appearances? I mean, 90 plate appearances isn't a lot.
Well,
maybe if you give him more
they're
time.
going to give him a chance. They're going to give him the first month of the season at least to see as an everyday center fielder who hits left-handed. And a lot of that is motivated by what they don't believe in Rojas that much.
Now, this probably annoys you because you don't like utility players being stars, but
What? Don't tell me Sosa.
he hit 284 last year against left-handed pitching.
At Sosa in center field, dude.
284.
Once a week, maybe you can get away with it. You can't platoon.
No, I guess the spot to platoon Sosa would have been in left, but then that still doesn't solve your center field issue, and now you're taking Kepler out of the lineup.
You're not going to, when you have a guy like Rojas, if he's going to be in a roster, you're not going to platoon Sosa with Marsh. You're going to platoon Rojas. He loves himself some Rojas. They're giving that kid every chance.
He's hurt, though, isn't he?
He's got a shoulder problem. He slid in and he got a shoulder. But he hit yesterday. He pinch hit. He had a pinch hit home run. Hit a smash, too. Oh, unfortunately, Luzardo got cuffed. What do you think of that? 3 straight ding-dongers.
When it comes to the pitchers, and I know you were worried about Ranger's velocity being down.
I'm totally worried about Ranger.
I don't get as worried about the hits that they give up. They're trying different things, right? They're trying out some different pitches. They're trying some different approaches. I'm all right with it. I think Luzardo's going to be just fine.
Luzardo's velocity is when a guy gets hit, he's still the same velocity. I don't have a problem. When a guy doesn't have velocity, I've got a problem. That means every pitch has to be perfect. When you throw less than 90 in this day and age, you've got to hit every spot. And it's hard to hit every spot because at 89, you're not going to throw the ball by anybody. Even like sometimes guys will miss a belt high fastball because that fastball has some giddy up on it. Well, if it doesn't have any giddy up, you're not going to miss that.
Yeah, you're right. But even if we talked about this a little yesterday, even if Ranger, for whatever reason, can't get back to the dominant pitcher he was to start last season as a starting pitcher, once you bring up Painter, if Luzardo's healthy, I mean, this rotation's phenomenal.
If you think Painter's going to have immediate success.
So I was looking at an article this morning on MLB.com. They ranked their top World Series favorite from 1 to 30.
This was Jim Bowden, wasn't it?
This is a little bit different one.
Okay.
This is from Will Leach and Mike Petrillo. They did 1 through 30. So number 1, LA Dodgers, obviously. They got the Braves at number 2, which makes me a little bit nervous. But then number 3, they have the Philadelphia Phillies. And I agree with what they say in here. Adding Jesus Luzardo is one of the most overlooked moves of the winter. Because the talent has never been in question, the health has. And with top prospect Andrew Painter coming, their rotation is miles ahead of Atlanta and New York.
Okay, I agree.
And that's where I said
I agree that they're miles ahead.
I think that I didn't give the offseason enough credit. I was so angry they didn't upgrade the outfield enough that I think I'm ignoring how good this starting rotation is going to be.
Starting rotation is going to be really good.
Which could result in a lot of wins for this team.
There you go. It's going to result in a lot of wins.
Well, you look at last year, where they win 95 games and they had Colby Allard, Tyler Phillips, Taijuan Walker.
But you're presuming these guys are going to all go deep. You got to have a bullpen. Okay, so we'll see. Right now they got 4, maybe 5 guys they can count on.
Alvarado, best shape of his life, man.
Yeah, he
added a 4th pitch to his arsenal.
I don't worry about Alvarado. He's one of the 4 I don't worry about.
What do you think of Romano? You like that signing?
I like him. I think he throws hard. I think that he could be a really good closer type guy.
Another guy who needs to stay healthy. Look, I think I underestimated how good this team could be just because of the pitching.
All right. We'll talk about it. 610-622-0975. Detroit Tigers had BP yesterday, though. Mike Missanelli Show, back as it is.
Andrew Salciunas.
If you could snap your fingers and put an
11:40, Mike Missanelli Show. The Sixers play tonight.
When it's cold outside.
They're in Boston tonight against the Celtics. Listen, I know I hate to advise people to bet hard-earned money, but this is back to my $1 million shoebox bet. How could you possibly lose if you bet $1 million on the Celtics tonight on the money line?
Because you're forgetting about one person, man. The future star of the 76ers.
Quentin Grimes?
Quentin Grimes, baby.
He might go for 50 tonight. Is that what you're saying?
Quentin Grimes
the
may drop
Celtics-
35, but
The Celtics
he'll still be
are
a minus.
14.5-point favorite tonight.
Yeah, they got no shot tonight. I'm with you. This would be a shoebox bet on the Celtics.
If I bet 500 tonight, what's the payoff of that at that money line? You do the math.
If you bet $500,
500 on the money line on Boston. What do I win? Is it worth
$55.
it?
Yeah, I just did the math.
See, that's not worth
If you bet $500 on the money line, you win $55.56. All right, let's say
nobody on earth that'll bet the money line.
let's see if you got if you have a lot of faith, you put 10 grand on it, you'd win 1,100.
I don't have that in my account right now.
Yeah, still not worth it though. Now, let's see what else you got here. What's Quentin Grimes got today? Is he on here on any of these prop bets? You don't like doing prop bets.
See, every time we play, when we mention Quentin Grimes, we ought to play the song.
All right, if for Quentin Grimes to drop 30,
right? That to be get that Kill V meme. Is that every time Bill brings up the name Grimes?
yeah, Quentin Grimes.
we have to play it.
You play that song.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you think has better odds to drop 30 points tonight? Quentin Grimes, Paul George, or Kelly Oubre?
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, he is. He's a plus 152. He's got the best odds.
I
to
wouldn't
drop
bet
30.
on any of those.
Jaylen Brown's number 2 at plus 390. But just between the Sixers, would you say Grimes, George, or Oubre has better odds to drop 30 tonight?
None of them. I can't even. There's no way Grimes scores 30 against the Boston Celtics.
Well, yeah, I'm just asking, who do you think has better odds to do it?
It's a no-brainer if you're talking about guys that have been scoring lately.
Yeah.
So why would I say anybody else? I say Paul George. When's the last time he scored 30 points?
I don't know. Well, Grimes is a plus 870 to drop 30. Paul George is a plus 1,200, and Kelly Oubre a plus 13.
You gonna take a flyer on any of those?
Now, this one's not a bad bet. Quentin Grimes to score 20 or more is a plus 124.
There you go.
Look, you figure if it's a blowout,
Yeah.
he's going to get some garbage time. He's going to get some garbage baskets. Maybe I'll take Grimes to score 20
He's not going to be
points.
on the floor.
Who else are they going to put out there? Let him play.
Let the other guy, Jeff Doughton, will get some minutes.
What's Doughton's?
Oh my God! Look at who they bring off the bench these days. Are you serious? What is going on here in this town with
Now-
the winter season? Now I know there's this big thing that the Flyers make a push to make the playoffs. So it's time for our 30 seconds worth of hockey talk, Bill. Will the Flyers, the remaining schedule, have enough points to make the playoffs?
I'd love to say yes, but no, they won't.
You're saying no.
Nah, they're not going to. Really would have to jump 6 teams to even get there. And the problem is they don't have enough regulation wins, which is the tiebreaker. So even if they catch teams and tie them in points, they're not going to have enough regulation wins, most likely. It's not going to happen. It's just not. I think they have like less than a 2% chance to make the playoffs. They're back in action tonight against one of the best teams in the National Hockey League. They got the Winnipeg Jets tonight. Winnipeg
Wow,
Jets.
I got a night of TV planned out for me.
What are we going to do? You going to watch Flyers Jets or are you going to watch Sixers Celtics?
I'll watch Sixers Celtics any day of the week. However, later after that game tonight, are you staying up for the big NBA game?
Who we got tonight?
Knicks at Lakers at 10 o'clock.
Oh, they're in L.A. tonight.
They're in L.A. and here I'm gonna throw something out there. It's a very slender line.
It is 3 points.
I think the Knicks outright tonight.
Really?
Yes, I do. Outright.
I don't know, man.
That is a very tiny line. Way LA's playing.
I know you're picking against the King, though.
I am picking again. And Luka.
Speaking of Luka, Ray's put it on the sheet a couple days in a row. That GM's having a rough couple of weeks, man. And you could add Quentin Grimes to the mix, can't you? Another bad move.
What, they traded Quentin Grimes?
right? Maybe
Wow.
what's a worse move? Them trading Luka or them trading Quentin Grimes, baby?
See, now you're taking something and ruining
Here's
it.
the thing about Bill. Like he gets these ideas.
I'm getting
on-
my Grimes jersey tonight.
He gets these ideas on players that can, like this. I had to hear this at Caleb Martin for how many weeks in a row.
Well, that's who the trade was for.
Yes.
Caleb Martin hasn't
Yeah.
even suited up for
I
him
know.
Yeah,
yet.
Caleb Martin. It's the same stink pole tube. You get from Dallas to Philadelphia. The stink tube.
Yeah, I'm only being facetious, but look, the Grimes kid has shown he could score. Like, he wouldn't be a bad piece off the bench if you had other pieces. If you had Maxey and someone else as your starting guards,
Yeah, okay.
you could bring Grimes off the bench to score a little bit.
Sure. By the way, you can win a spot in our knockout tournament, and this is a really cool thing. And all you got to do is put in a keyword and go to our website. So you go to our website. The knockout tournament is Wednesday, March 26th, by the way. If you enter today's keyword on our contest page, 975thefanatic.com. Go there right now, 975thefanatic.com, and click on the contest page. And then you'll cement a spot there. You'll have at the end of the day to enter this keyword. So you don't have to do it right now, but I suggest you do it now since it's fresh in your mind. Today's keyword is arena. ARENA, arena, not Irena, arena. You have until the end of the day to enter it. Each winner by the end of the day gets a pair of tickets for the game that night versus the Wizards. And after the game, you'll head to the Sixers court for knockout. It might be better shooting in a knockout than in the Wizards
Maybe.
that night. But the keyword is arena. So check that out.
And yesterday's winner, another winner, Jerry Snyder from Sellersville, PA. So Jerry Snyder will be joining us competing in knockout. I'm not holding back.
Congratulations to Jerry Snyder.
Congratulations to Jerry, but I'm not holding back, man. I'm trying to win this damn thing. I'm going to be disappointed if I don't.
Well, you should. The way you talk about yourself, it should be easy peasy.
Listen, some people were born as athletes. I just happen to be one of those people.
Yeah. 610-632-0975. Let's go back to the chat board. All the stuff we're talking about there. I want the people that say we're picking on the Eagles, causing trouble. I need the people to call in and tell us why that we're causing trouble. I want to have a conversation with those people. I swear, I'll listen to your point. I'll listen to your point. If you think what our responsibilities are, not to mention something like this that could cause trouble in the utopia that's the Philadelphia Eagles right now, I get it. I totally get it. But when guys put the wheels out in motion, we notice the wheels turning and we talk about it.
Yeah, people don't love it. You're right. I mean, people, they don't love it. It was the same thing. I keep going back to it. Brandon Graham created that firestorm with Hurts and AJ, and it was all our fault.
It was our fault. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back after this. Coming up, news at noon.
Fanatic Sports Update.
On his back, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. A substantial raise from the 1-year, $3.5 million contract that he got last offseason from the Birds. The All-Pro will now be signed through the 2027 season, and this comes in the lead up to legal tampering period in the NFL opening up on Monday, ahead, of course, the open of NFL free agency next week. Tonight, the 76ers return to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. Sixers have lost 11 of their last 12. End of the night, tied for the sixth worst record in the NBA. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers host the Jets tonight at 7 o'clock. Looking to bounce back after a 6-3 loss to the Flames on Tuesday. You can hear the game on our sister station, WMMR. And in spring training action today, the Phillies host the Rays with Aaron Nola on the mound. Trey Turner leading off in today's lineup. Bryce Harper batting second for the Phils. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5. The Fanatic. News and Noon is coming up. We're just talking about watches during the break. Bill asked me if I was a watch collector. No, I am not a watch collector, but I do have several watches that I never wear. But the watch has kind of gone out, like, as a timepiece. You just use it as an accessory now.
Yeah, it's definitely just an accessory. I've never been a big jewelry guy. I went back to the Apple Watch because I'm tracking my steps
the Apple
now.
Watch has tainted the look of a good watch.
True. Like, this is not a good look. I wear it to track the steps.
No, it goes perfectly with that bad sweatshirt.
Oh, I think
Boom!
I think people hit the nail on the head
Yeah.
in the YouTube chat on what my sweatshirt is. They said I look like I'm a NASCAR.
No, you don't look like a NASCAR. You look like a tourist that bought it at the airport.
I don't think I look like a
to
tourist.
God, you look like a tourist. New Orleans. I've been in New Orleans. Let's show the world.
No, this is different. The New Orleans part isn't what bothers me. It's the busyness that bothers me.
The New Orleans part.
The New Orleans part doesn't
I can't even
bother
get to the busy part. I see New Orleans. I go, come on, man.
Well, see, now I'm embarrassed because after the show, I have a medium and a small that I was gifting to both of you that I guess I'm going to have to return.
I don't want anything to do with that kind of.
I'll take it. Thanks.
You're right.
It's free. It's for me.
Well, anyway, watches.
Yeah, I've never been a
you
watch
asked
guy.
me if I am a watch guy. I have several watches. The most expensive watch I ever bought. This is so unlike me because I am not into indulgences at all. I was in London's Gatwick Airport en route to taking a hop to Amsterdam.
Oh, you've been to Amsterdam?
Yes.
Got to hear more about that, but go ahead. About the watch.
I saw this watch in this watch store at the Gatwick Airport. It was an IWC watch. People that have no watches know that's a
Very nice watch.
Yeah, and it was $12,000.
And you splurged?
And I kept looking at it. It had this simplicity to it, but it was like regal, and it was thick. And I go, I don't indulge myself with anything. Let's do it. So 2 credit cards.
Do you wear it often?
Bang, bang. No, I don't wear it off.
It's a nice heirloom you could leave down. You could, like if your daughter has a son, you leave it to him.
It is an heirloom.
Yes.
Yeah. So you want to know about Amsterdam?
How many times you been there?
Once.
Once enough for you?
No, I mean, I would go back to Amsterdam. It was a day hop.
Gotcha.
My daughter was in London, and I love these kids. They go on their internships. So this one was in London,
Yeah.
right? So she's living in London. So I go visit her, and then I took a hop to Amsterdam. And you go to the coffee shops. The coffee shops are the pot smoking joints.
Yeah.
The coffee shops are not called coffee shops. The pot smoking things are called coffee shops.
Gotcha. But they call them coffee shops still?
Call them coffee shops.
Do they serve coffee or just weed?
They serve weed. They give you a menu.
But no coffee at a place called a coffee shop.
No coffee.
It's a little confusing, isn't it, Ray?
No coffee. You go in and you sit at a bar, and you get a menu of weed.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
See, well, that's the thing. Like, even though marijuana is legal in Jersey and Colorado and some other states, you still can't do it in public like you can at stores in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam, you just sit at the bar. It's like you're having a drink. You're just smoking some various strains of weed.
When you say that, you just remind me. It's still like foreign to me that we used to be able to walk into a diner and sit at the counter,
Have a cigarette.
have a cigarette with your breakfast. Like that feels like ages ago.
The classic old salt guys.
Yeah.
They get a cigarette, and then we're done with their orange juice, and they put the ashes in the orange juice.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that used to be permitted.
So Lenny Dykstra did that to me one morning. I'm doing this dude. He's got. I'm doing a magazine story on it. He goes, "All right, meet me at my house, dude." So I go into his living room. Right, he comes out. He's got his underwear on, and he's like just got up. It's like 11 o'clock. He's got sleepy eyes and stuff, and he's got some cook whipping up his breakfast, and he's got orange juice, right? And he's fired up a cigarette. He gets a cigarette going, and he's telling me a story about, dude. He goes, "I'm really gonna buckle down this year health wise." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I gotta eat properly and do this." Meanwhile, the cook brings over a breakfast of 5 pieces of bacon, 5 sausage links, like all this crappy, greasy food. And he's going, "Yeah, dude, I got to buckle down this shit." He's smoking a cigarette, and he flicks the ashes in orange juice. I go, man, come on.
Yeah. Ray, do you remember that? Or are you too young to remember when you could just smoke in diners and stuff?
Oh,
Very much too young for that. The only place that I have gone where that's normalized is McGlinchey's.
Really? They still allow smoking in McGlinchey's?
Yeah. You can still smoke inside there.
I thought there wasn't there a story that just came out where they're stopping smoking now? Was that McGlinchey's or was some landmark, some bar?
Maybe it was. I mean, I haven't been there. I'll be honest with you. When you're young and in the city and you're exploring places, you go in there once, and I'm not a smoker, so it really wasn't a consistent stop for me.
No, interesting.
Nothing against the place.
Yeah,
sure, it's a great place for people.
You're listening to WPEN Burlington, HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities. It is noon. Happy lunchtime to everybody out there, and it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ray Dunn, spanning the globe for 3 interesting little tidbits that he compiles in something we call the news at noon. Ray, what do you got?
All right, we're going to start with a cowboy here. We're going to start on the Up and Adams show because Osa Odigizua. I can't pronounce his last name.
Odigizua?
Odigizua.
Odigizua?
Odigizua.
Odigizua.
Went on the Up and Adams show. I've been trying all morning to make sure I got that right.
I know.
It's not an easy one, man.
Immediately bailed out and failed. Went on the Up and Adams show, and Kay Adams asked him about Mike McCarthy and whether or not he was surprised McCarthy didn't get another head coaching gig. And his answer had the internet up in a frenzy, and I don't see it. I'll give you guys a chance to listen, and then we can react.
Surprised that Coach McCarthy doesn't have a head coaching gig this year?
I didn't even know that he didn't, but a little bit. But at the same time, not really. There's only 32 spots. It's not always going to be something that just pops up open, you know? It's an unpredictable beast in the NFL, so...
Well, do you think those guys pay attention? Like, he knows McCarthy's no longer coaching the Cowboys, but as far as he knows, like, they could have gotten another job, right? Like, those guys don't care. Do they? Do they pay attention?
I don't know how much they pay attention because did you ever see? I think it was the Kelseys who did it, where they would pull out like the pictures of all the coaches, and nobody even knows half the names of the coaches either. Like, I don't know how much they pay attention.
No, I don't think they pay attention. Yeah, they don't pay attention to the news. They pay attention to social media, and like
sometimes too much.
Yeah, if they don't see it on social media, then they don't. They don't know.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. People were shocked that he had no idea.
Really?
I thought it was very.
Yeah, but see, people don't know that players just don't give a crap. They just really don't. They're so absorbed with themselves that they couldn't care less about it. All they know, he's no longer our coach. We got a new coach coming in, and who cares? Whether you got a job or not?
Yeah,
I feel like you have enough to deal with on your own account to be worrying about what Mike McCarthy. Like, didn't he just get a new contract?
Yeah, I mean,
got a new head coach.
If they saw it on social media, they would have taken note of it. But this guy probably didn't see it, so he just goes on, and even though he didn't have one.
All right, moving on.
So, pronounce his name again, though. Right?
No, I'm kidding.
Give it to us again.
We're going here to the next one here. Darius Slay went on a podcast.
Darius Slay. Well, he hasn't made the news in a while.
I know. Can you believe it? He went on a podcast, started talking, and said something interesting.
Is this the same podcast?
No. So the clip that we played yesterday was for Big Play Slay. On top of Big Play Slay, he was on the facility like Bill said yesterday.
I got confused.
And on part of this media rounds, he went on the Pick a Side podcast. Good for them. Good get. Darius Slay.
Who's on that? Who's Pick a Side?
It's the Pick a Side podcast. Right. Yeah. It seemed like nice people. They asked him if there was a team that the Eagles wanted to play in the postseason. And he wanted to play the game that our show was building up to for months that never ended up happening. Take a listen to what he had to say about the Detroit Lions.
The team kind of wanted to play the Detroit Lions. We was a different type of team. Their defense was physical, but their offense was a cute offense. You know what I'm saying? We called it cute because it did a lot of trick plays, a lot of this and a lot of that. He was like, man, we're going to knock that cute. You know what I'm saying? And we was a hard grinding defense. Like, they was great. Their team was great this year. You know what I'm saying? They was like a little one of them gorillas that be in the zoo that just look at you and be just sit there and eat. Nah, we would go bring their ass into the jungle and see if they could climb the same trees we climbed. Because we was like, nah, we don't want to do that. Because we just knew. Yeah, we wanted to play the Detroit Lions though. I love Detroit though. That's my second home, one of my other homes. So nothing against them. It's just that's who we wanted to play because it was, like I said, they were doing too much cute. We just like, man, somebody just need to punch him. And we was going to punch him.
he talks so fast.
He does.
But of course he had an ulterior motive to want to play the Lions, right?
What do you think?
Yeah, he did.
What was the ulterior motive?
The Lions.
Yeah, but just because he wanted to beat him.
He played for the Lions.
I know he did, and he had the issue with Matt Patricia and all that shipped him out.
Well, that's an ulterior motive. Maybe wanted to get back at the Lions and show off a little bit.
I didn't think that was the clip that you were going to play, Ray. I thought you were going to play the more controversial clip from the podcast where he was asked to list the elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he didn't name Jalen Hurts.
But he had already been asked on that podcast about Jalen Hurts. He gave Hurts his flowers. So
I don't know.
You got to listen to the whole podcast.
He was asked.
Bill.
He was asked who was elite.
What's the name of this podcast?
Pick a side.
Pick a side.
Hey, pick a side. Pick a side, Bill.
So the 4 quarterbacks he listed as elite: Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen. You got to throw Hurts in there. He's your teammate, man.
Yeah. Probably should. But again, he's detached. He's no longer a member of the Eagles right now, so he can say anything he wants. All right. Finally, what do you got?
Last one here. This is just elite level hatred. Skip Bayless has made a career on just trying to downplay everything LeBron James does. LeBron James goes over 50,000 points. And Skip Bayless's takeaway from this is the most Skip thing of all time. That I just needed to play for people because he doesn't have the platform anymore. But I want to laugh at just how much he hates this man.
It's come to this point that now on a nightly basis, I hear commentators rave about how hard LeBron has worked to become a better shooter. The other night on ESPN, Richard Jefferson, who of course played with LeBron, who loves LeBron, just gushed about how much time and how much effort LeBron has put into improving his jump shooting. Way to go, LeBron. No doubt LeBron has shot it much better both last season and this one, from 3 and from the free throw line. But you know what that makes me think? And this is not a nitpick. This is a bolder pick. This is an extremely fair and valid, biggest picture question about the NBA's greatest scorer ever. Why didn't he work to improve his shooting after his rookie year? Or after his second year? After his third year? He finally improved his pathetic shooting in year 21 and 22. Think about that. What was he doing his first 20 off seasons? I mean, he wasted 20 years.
This guy, I don't know how he looks himself in the mirror sometimes. I really don't. I get it was a shtick, and you keep playing it out after the guy has become the all-time leading scorer. Like, if he couldn't shoot, like he wouldn't be the all-time leading scorer. Does that make any sense to Skip Bayless? Like, no. He wasn't the greatest jump shooter,
but he wasn't terrible.
No, he wasn't terrible. He was good enough as a jump shooter.
I'm looking at his stats. After his rookie season, he hasn't shot worse than 47% from the field.
Yeah, that's which is pretty amazing. But what is his 3-point shooting percentage?
3-point after his rookie season. The lowest he's had is 31%.
Yeah, what's his average?
He's averaged in his career 35% from 3.
It's not great. It's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
LeBron James' career 3-point percentage is 35%. And the guy that Skip Bayless will always go to bat for, albeit a different era of time, 32% from 3.
Is that Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael didn't attempt a lot either. It's a completely different era. So is that what Skip's motivation is? That he resents people think LeBron's better than Michael Jordan?
Or he just resents LeBron.
He's just a LeBron hater.
He hates LeBron.
It's very peculiar.
Why he hates him?
You ride a shtick like that, it's like people don't believe it anymore. It's like it's silliness. And I don't know if the guy actually believes he's a caricature like I look at him. Or whether he has some sense that he's a caricature, you know?
LeBron James wasted 20 years. That's what we found out.
Yeah.
The first 20 years were a waste for LeBron.
Come on, man. Yeah. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Tyrone Johnson.
I don't understand this.
Well, 13. Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5. The Fanatic. We gave you our keyword for the day. It's arena. Go to our website, enter that keyword. You might win a spot in our Fanatic Knockout tournament. I got my fingers are all gnarly today because I was out doing man's work last night, Bill. It was like I was taping and spackling and sanding drywall. Something that you would have to call your father-in-law to do.
I have called my father-in-law to do drywall for me.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it's hard, dude. There's a lot of work in it. So is it still drying or is it done? Because you got to sand it.
Done. It's all sanded. Now I can just paint over it.
You did a good job?
Tremendous.
Can't tell?
I was like a surgeon with that spackle blade.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Filling in the gap. They got this new spackle now. It's pink.
Yes. I watched my father-in-law do it.
The pink
I try to learn.
When the pink turns white, it's dry.
Then you know it's dry.
Fantastic.
They make it easy.
What an invention.
It is a good invention.
Who would have thought it? It's funny. I'm looking at spackle, right? I'm going, why the hell would I want pink spackle? But it's like totally recommended. Like, all right, let me get the pink spackle.
Wait, did you?
I didn't have any idea it was going to turn white.
Maybe I forgot.
What?
Why do you have a hole? Oh, the pipe burst, right? You
pipe burst, and my guy had to go in and saw into the wall. And
That's right.
Take a chunk of the wall out and get the split pipe out of there and replace it.
I thought maybe you punched the wall.
No.
So angry about the Sixers.
Done with the wall punching. I did punch a door once.
That's smart. Did you break your hand?
No, because the door was hollow. It was one of those hollow doors.
Yeah.
It was a place I was renting. And I actually tried to patch it.
Didn't work?
No, it didn't work. I wound up buying a new door. But it was a hollow door. Like,
I don't think I've ever punched a wall. Ray, you ever punched a wall?
Tony Soprano did.
No.
You ever been so angry?
No. I've had roommates that did. Made for interesting jobs for them to clean up, but not me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. I don't think I've ever... I don't know if you've learned this about me. I rarely get angry.
I used to punch the roof of my car.
Like inside the car?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done that before.
Yeah. It's like you frustrated at traffic or whatever.
I've done that. Every once in a while, I can run a bit.
I don't really get that angry.
No? You never got that angry ever? What's the angriest you've ever got? What happened in your life that you got so angry?
I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. Like, when I'm playing sports, I would play angry, but that's different. Like, in the real world, I try to just kind of let things flow. I don't know. I'd have to think long and hard. I mean, obviously, I'm...
Your hands are registered as lethal weapons while you're jacked up. So I would assume you have to...
Yeah. Usually diffuse situations.
God, I've never heard a guy talk about his body as much as you. During the break, he goes, look, I'm doing all these squats. My wife says my ass is getting too big. Is it getting too big? He says to me.
I told Mike. I thought I saw him looking at it.
Too big?
Yeah, he says. He goes, "What do you think? Is it getting too big?"
Because I thought I saw Mike checking it out. Right?
What is wrong with you?
I thought he was looking at it. So I asked him, "What do you think?"
Good Lord.
How's the squats been working out there, Michael?
610-632-0975. Let's get back to a couple topics we talked about. And one is this. I don't know if we're getting any feedback on this because I'm not in front of the YouTube chat or our text board. The Bryce Harper immunity topic. And the question is he losing immunity? Bill says, yes, he is. In Bill's mind, Bryce Harper, who I believe is one of those athletes that always is going to get immunity from this fan base because he's what he's done, the way he approaches things, the way he does pander, that is strategic to win over fans. Don't get it. Listen, I'm not naive. But this is why he's losing it a little bit in your mind, Bill, right?
Yeah, I just think the over-the-top pandering, and I did have people coming at me on the YouTube chat earlier saying I have no problem with the head coach of the Eagles pandering in Nick Sirianni, but yet Bryce Harper.
Well, he was the opposite of pandering, though. He was mugging and he was yelling at fans.
He was early on with the T-shirts. I think there was a little bit of pandering. Remember, like
he panders to
the Beat Dallas T-shirt he wore early.
But mostly he panders to his own play.
He admitted that was a mistake.
Yeah.
See, here's the difference if we're going to try, because there was people who compared him to Sirianni. I felt like Sirianni this past offseason, before they win the Super Bowl, showed a willingness to actually do whatever was in the best interest of the team. He took more of a CEO role. He gave up play calling his rookie coaching year. Bryce Harper says he will do things, whatever the team wants. I'm just not sure I believe him. And I know people in the YouTube chat are getting mad at me like, oh, this is just how Bill feels. Bryce Harper has not shown me. Great player. Great player. I'm not saying he's not. He's changed the direction of this franchise. When he came here, it did become a place that other free agents wanted to come. But what has he done where his willingness to move up and down in the lineup or his willingness to play other positions? He says that. I just don't believe him. I think he is the boss.
By the fact that he didn't really come out and say he would play the outfield until just now. And then he says, in reference to whether it when Alonso was available, you have a problem with him saying, I'm a 3-hitter.
It's things like that.
These little things are piling up with you.
Yeah, like if they actually came to him and said, hey, we want you to lead off, he would say no. And then he would tell the fans, oh, whatever they want, but they want me to bat third. Like, I just don't believe that. I think Bryce Harper wants what Bryce Harper wants.
You thought he spun the first time playing first base the same way. That they insisted I play first base, but in reality, he didn't want to play the outfield.
Correct. That's my feelings.
Interesting. So how do people feel about it? Is he chiseling away the immunity that he has? I don't know.
Even Mike, remember the All-Star game, home run derby, and he's holding up the water jug with water written on it. Like, to me, that's just it's over the top.
Overboard.
Yeah, come on, man.
Huh. All right. Most people eat that up.
Ray eats it up.
610-632-0975. Yes, Ray does eat it up. He'll tell us why after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
On is back. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by the Bet Parks Online Casino and Sportsbook app. Play your favorite casino games and bet sports on the Bet Parks app. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. Bet Parks must be 21 in PA or New Jersey. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. A substantial raise from the 1-year, $3.5 million contract he received last offseason coming here to Philadelphia. The All-Pro now be signed through the 2027 season. And this, of course, comes in the lead-up to the legal tampering period opening up in the NFL on Monday ahead of the open of NFL free agency next week. Tonight, the 76ers return to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. The Sixers have lost 11 of their last 12 games and end of the night tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. You can hear the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. The Flyers host the Jets at 7 o'clock tonight, looking to bounce back after a 6-3 loss to the Flames on Tuesday. You can hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. In spring training action today, the Phillies host the Rays with Aaron Nola on the mound. Trey Turner leading off in today's lineup with Bryce Harper batting second. This update's also brought to you by Mattress Firm. Get matched and sleep at night during Mattress Firm's Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Take 120 nights to love your new bed or your money back. Restrictions apply. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
12:25. Mike Missanelli Show. I have a story about a flight attendant getting a note from a pilot in a second. But first, we've talked about Bryce. We've talked about CJ Gardner and Slay's beef. And obviously, Zack Baun with a big new deal. And I think that says everything about the way Howie Roseman now operates with this team. The important players who have character, boom. Right away, he's going to lock these dudes up. Because that's the fiber of what makes a team strong.
True. And look, character is important, and they do want to build a strong culture. You're right. But you also got to look at the two players he just paid. You're talking about two of the best players at their position in the National Football League.
And two of the better citizens, and that's my point.
Yes.
If you are that type of character player, he's going to pay. And he overpaid for Baun, and he kind of overpaid for Barkley as well. But they're important. It's important to the fabric.
Now, do you think it was an overpay?
Yeah.
For Baun?
Yeah.
Well, because
for Baun, for 1 year, he makes him the fourth highest paid linebacker? Of course it was.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the – so you got Roquan Smith is making $20 million a year.
Yeah.
Fred Warner's making $19 million a year. Tremaine Edmonds is making $18 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
He's
right there.
I mean, you can make the argument.
Off of 1 year, he got that kind of a raise, and he's the fourth highest pay. Of course it's a lot of money.
Like, a guy that I wanted to see them go after last offseason was Patrick Queen that the Steelers signed. Steelers got him for a little under $14 million a year. Mm-hmm. But it's all kind of relative because the cap went up. So that's why it's always, record-setting deal.
I get it. The cap went up.
Yeah, he didn't take a hometown discount.
They had some wiggle, but 17 is 17 compared to what he was getting paid last year in 1 year performance. That's an overpay. There's no question. But we don't care. Who cares? The most important thing to Eagle fans is to have him back.
Yeah, and I think when you say overpay, to me, that signals he wouldn't have gotten this on the open market. I think he would have got at least this on the open market.
Well, that doesn't mean that the market is sane.
I just think because there were some people.
It's 1 year performance, Bill.
You're right.
This is the thing you're not putting in the equation. Like 1 year, I can see if you're a stud linebacker for a couple of years and you deserve the big payday, that's when it usually comes. It usually doesn't come after 1 year.
You're right, and I remember when they posted a video of me saying this would be my priority, there were some who said it's only 1 year and he's a system player and all that. No. You could watch what he did this year. There was nothing fluky about that season and that postseason. This kid can play. And he's not even a kid anymore. I mean, he can play. I know it's only 1 year, but there's no denying that this is a special talent at that position.
All right, let's go to the text board. We got a lot of texts rolling in, 610-632-0975. And you can call. You can actually call now. So I know a lot of people have bailed out. They don't take calls. We're back taking calls. We can take calls. The system's a little different, but we can take calls. And the system is going to be supersonic when it's all done, when it's all said and done, Bill. We're going to have a new studio. We're going to have new computers.
When you say supersonic, we're going to be the Sean Kemp of sports talk.
Or the Oasis of sports talk.
That's true.
Supersonic.
I like Sean Kemp.
You don't know Supersonic by Oasis, do you?
I know a lot of Oasis songs.
Yeah.
Sing it for me, and I'll know it.
I can't. It's a Liam Gallagher special.
Slip inside the eye of your mind.
Yeah. Well, Ray will get up Supersonic.
Yeah, get up Supersonic. I know I've heard it.
It's a rocker. It's a rocker tune. It's an Oasis rocker tune. It's not sappy.
Like is that tour still happening, or are they canceled?
Yeah, no. It's happening.
They haven't killed each other yet, the brothers?
In London this summer. Starts.
Maybe we should sell that $12,000 watch and head over there. We can go.
I don't know how much it would be worth now. Do you think do watches lose their value?
The reason we got on the conversation, my best friend's real into watches. He has some app where he uploads all of his watches, and he can get daily value of them like you would stock.
Yeah, oh, really?
Yeah, they like fluctuate up and down. So
it's kind of like baseball cards. Yeah. I have this collection of baseball cards, and they tell me, well, you have to get them rated. I go, what do you mean? They go, you have to send them out to this company. The company rates them and officially designates them or something, and then they send them back to you. I go, wait a minute. I'm supposed to mail these valuable cards somewhere else, and I'm going to trust? Like, is that like a collector's got to tell me about this because I have these cards and they go, well, they're not rated. They're not really worth anything. You have to get them rated by this company. There's one company that rates cards, I think.
I've never really been. I have boxes and boxes of my old cards.
Do you really?
But the problem is, it was really in the 90s when they overproduced these cards.
Yeah.
It would take me forever to go through
I got
them.
cards from the 60s.
Yeah, so they may be worth something. I don't know what mine are worth. Now, there are, like, computer software that you could get where you could just, like, scan them in and then it'll tell you the value.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how cheap
Well,
it is
apparently you have to send these out to this official company.
to get them rated.
And I forget what the company is.
But I would only do that if I already knew it was a valuable card. So you would know that this is a valuable
I know
card.
these are valuable cards. These are all the stars, like Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Stan Musial. Like, I got these 60s baseball cards that are very valuable.
So you should get those done, man.
I should get them rated, but I'm afraid to send them out.
Talk to my buddy.
But people got to tell me what this sending out the rate. You know anything about this?
The what?
This you're supposed to send out these cards to the company. They rate them, and they authenticate them somehow, and then they become trade worthy. But until you do this, they're not trade worthy.
So what's the company?
I don't know. I can't remember. But collectors will know what it is.
Yeah.
But in any event, let's go to our text board first. Maybe we'll get some text on this, what the company is. Go ahead.
All right, we have people that are taking issue with Bill's perception of Bryce Harper. Mike in Gilbertsville, Bill's attitude towards Bryce is totally based on his perception that the Phillies were going to re-sign Hoskins. They weren't, and was blocked by Harper.
It's not just that. That is one factor of until I see that Bryce Harper is willing to do something outside of his comfort zone that could be helpful to the team. And again, I have to keep prefacing this with, I like Bryce Harper. I think he's a great baseball player. The way he plays is phenomenal. He's clutch. Everything about him. But it's the pandering part of it, which he continues with, I'll do anything they want me to do. Until he does anything they want him to do, I don't believe him. So if he's willing to move up in the lineup, maybe he bats second this year. Okay, I'll give him credit for that. But he hasn't shown a willingness to move up and down in the lineup yet. He hasn't shown a willingness to change positions out of first base. He comes out now and says, oh, well, if they were going to get Pete Alonso, I would have done it. Well, I don't know if I believe him. That's all. I'm entitled to my beliefs, damn it. People are saying that in the YouTube chat, too. Oh, this is just Bill, his thoughts. He hates Bryce Harper. I don't hate Bryce Harper.
All right. What else you got, Ray?
I got a lot of people telling you PSA is the company.
PSA.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a company called CGC. So
CGC or SGC? We also got an SGC.
CGC, and there's an SGC also. See, now it's confusing.
PSA is the one that's coming the most.
PSA, okay. PSA is the most popular gold standard for value, but you have to pay to get every card rated. It costs like $15.
Would you have to send the stick of gum, too?
No.
Remember when they used to put the stick of gum in the cards?
I love the stick of gum. They don't put the gum in there anymore because it devalues the card.
Yes.
So PSA, I send it. If I have 50 cards, it costs me $15 a card to get it graded.
Oh, it does?
Yes. And I'm sending it out to that place unknown. You see why I would be reluctant to do that?
So we've got a texter, Sean from Levittown, who's doing the thing that I can't stand on the text line, but it's important to you. So I'm going to read this text. Sean, I see the text the first time. It is apparently PSA is going to be in town this weekend.
Really? So where?
If it's maybe they're on Sunday at the festival that Sheba's going to be at.
I don't think they're going to be there. Oh. Yeah, I'll be signing books on Sunday. Saturday they'll be in town? No, I've been told that I have to mail them out to this company, and they cost like $12 to $15 a card to get rated. But when they rate it, you get the true value of a card because these people are the experts. So if anybody tries to screw you, you already know what it's worth.
All right. So PSA has a card show going on in my hometown of Oaks, Pennsylvania this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And to PSA customer service will be on-site accepting drop-off submissions for cards, tickets, packs, dual services. Yeah.
All right, I'm looking at PSA now.
On-site grading, no. So there you go. Sean, you sent back-to-back text to the text line with the same wording in it, and there's no on-site grading. Come on, Sean. Why would you get Mike's hopes up like that?
They have all these prices here for the rate cards, right? So the regular rating system costs you $74.99 a card. I'm totally confused by this. Value bulk, 20 card minimum for 1980 to the present or 1979 and older, which would be my cards. $19.99 a card to rate them.
Yeah, that's tough unless you know what the real value is. I mean, if they're worth thousands, it's worth it, I guess. But then you also have to figure out how you're going to ship them, right? That's going to cost money too.
Yeah, this is totally foreign to me. I don't understand.
Also, what do I got to do to get an invitation to go back to my hometown for an event like this?
You should be. You should have your own desk.
Yeah.
You should sign Ray Dunn cards.
That's too far. That's too much.
Ray Dunn with a microphone in his hand. Card.
I'd just like to wander around.
There you go.
Well, where's my invitation?
All right. 610-632-0975. One more text. We'll get to a break. What do you got?
You want something from the chat board?
Well, get something from the.
So people are coming after me with this Bryce Harper thing, and they're saying that I have no evidence that he's not telling the truth. So they're saying, if you give commentary on a guy's performance, that's part of the job. But to call someone a liar is a bridge too far. And I said, I'm looking at the evidence. What has he done that was out of his comfort zone that the team has asked him to do? So people are coming at me saying him coming here in the first place, him coming back early from surgery, him being willing to play first base to come back early as possible. I don't know. Not buying it. I still think that Bryce Harper, as good as he is, does what he wants to do and what he feels most comfortable doing. And one of the things that we didn't really get into was the fact that this is his country club of teammates. This is what he wants. We talked a little bit about that. He wanted Trey Turner here. Turner was here. Castellanos is his buddy. Ray mentioned during the break, if Real Muto gets an extension, it's probably because that's what Harper wants. Yeah. Garrett Stubbs, not a Major League Baseball player. He's here because Harper likes him. I think Bryce Harper has a lot of control, and maybe you agree with that. Maybe it's, hey, you know what? He should have that much control. He's the face of the franchise. Okay. I just don't think that Harper has shown. He said it. I don't think he's shown that he will do things that the team wants him to do that he doesn't want to do. He came back from injury because he wanted to come back from injury. Give him credit for that. Mm-hmm. He plays first because he wants to play first. He bats third because he wants to bat third. Now, if he's willing to do some different things this year, I'll give him all the credit.
All right. I'm a little not annoyed. I'm a little tired of the fanatic thing that he does, but I get it. He's got kids. Plays right into it. Everybody loves the fanatic except me. And so he plays into that majority. 610-632-0975. On the other side, I gotta find out what this Oaks thing is, Ray. Where I can show up and drop my cards off. Like, how does this work? I need information. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitalico, and Silver.
The Supersonic?
Yes, sis, it is. Oasis had a really good sound to them, though. You got to admit.
They did. It was a little whiny, but I liked it.
But Liam will come in with the screeching vocals here.
I need to be myself.
Yeah, it was pretty
I can't be no one else.
good. Is that too old for you, right?
Supersonic.
They were big in the 90s.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Let's do the math on that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but there's some music that transcends time where even your age would say, yeah, you know what? We listen to Oasis.
Yeah, I mean, there's one song by Oasis that's going to carry through generations.
What's one that? Wonderwall?
Yeah.
You know the name of that album?
There's one song that's going to carry through generations, Bill.
The album was called What's the Story, Morning Glory. You know what that means, right?
No.
Think about it.
I don't want to.
Think about it.
I don't want to, Bill. I don't want to put too much thought into it.
I don't want to.
I'm feeling supersonic. Give me gin and tonic.
Yeah, Liam, baby.
If Oasis was coming to Philly, I would definitely go. But I'm not going to London.
You can go to Cal. They're coming here.
Where? They're doing a tour through the U.S.?
Yeah, they're going to the North American tour.
But not to Philly.
I think Cali. What are you going to do? All right, so I need to straighten this out, right? Because this isn't your neighborhood. You got to give me some information on this. This is all foreign to me, this baseball card thing. I just had these things in a box for years. But I got them encased. I was smart enough to do that. And it says here, PSA is going to be at this Greater Expo Center at Oaks this weekend. So there's a big card show, evidently. PSA customer service will be on site accepting drop-off submissions for cards, tickets, packs, dual service, Funko Pops, autograph encapsulation, and PSA Vault. What does that mean? I mean, did I show up with my cards and drop them off?
So
this is what I need to know.
The site you're on, if you go down a little bit further, says there's no on-site grading. Our text line is...
No, I just want to drop them off, and then they'll take them, and they'll give them back. They'll shoot it back to me for a fee.
Got it. Our text line saying that it doesn't seem like they could get you that there. Maybe they will take them. Text line suggested that they might be able to give you advice on what it would be or what you're looking at.
Well, it says they have a drop-off site. Drop-off submissions will be accepted until Sunday, March 9th at 1 p.m. Customers must visit the online submission center to prepare and print submission forms before visiting the booth. So as far as I know, I go to the online submission center, print out some forms, sign them, and then I can drop my cards off at this booth? And but instead of me sending them, I can bring it to them, basically.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll probably get some sort of ticket, right? You'll get it's like if you dropped off jewelry, even though it's worth money. You know, you're going to get something that.
So I have to trust that I drop off my cards and they're going to be graded and shipped back to me properly.
Yeah, but I think you could say the same thing when you drop off that beautiful Telluride to Kia when you need to get work done. You know you're going to get it back, even though it's worth a lot of money. Same thing with cards.
It's not exactly.
You're just having a hard time wrapping your head around the concept.
I'm trusting these people that are taking my cards away.
Right. That expensive $12,000 watch you bought in London, right? If you had to bring it to the jewelry shop because something wasn't working properly, you would drop it off and you would leave. And you wouldn't worry that you're not going to get the watch back.
Yeah, but it's within my purview. It's like it's local. Like these are being sent away somewhere unknown.
Yeah, I guess. I still think it's what they do. I mean, they're a reputable.
Text line says it would take you 2 months to get them back.
2 months to get? Well, that's fine. I don't need them right away. This might be a down payment on something.
I wonder if my college quarterback's going to be at this show because he owns a card shop up in North Jersey. I'm going to reach out to him. When is it, Saturday?
Reach out to him. Let him know this PSA thing. All right. Do we have any calls, Ray?
We do.
All right. What do we have?
We got to believe it's Nate in North Philly.
Nate in North Philly? Who else do we have? That's it?
That's
right now?
One at a time.
That's right. We can only do one at a time. All right. Let's go to Nate in North Philly. Nate, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Nate?
So what's going on, Mikey?
What's going on, Nate? How you doing, buddy?
How's everybody doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm having a wonderful day.
Fantastic.
So to try and just break out the PSA, I'm just a collector myself.
Oh, okay.
The whole PSA thing. The scary part that becomes with it is if you send out a card and it gets a bad grade, it can actually destroy the value of the card.
If I get a bad grade, it destroys the value of the card. So, in other words, some unsuspecting person, when he sees it not graded, may think it's worth more than what the graders think.
Correct, because when they grade it, they put it under a microscope and it goes through a bunch of stuff. Looks for surface scratches, nicks on the card. If the card's not centered, it gets.
What would you advise me to do here, Nate?
Take it to a local card shop. Maybe the guy Bill knows, and they can typically, or the event this weekend, and they could take a look at it and give you a ballpark idea on what you're looking at under a microscope. Because sometimes if you, like for example, I have a Brian Dawkins card, very valued card. I haven't sent it out to get graded because if you send it out and it comes back with a lower grade, it almost is better in raw form than it would be sending it out to get a bad grade.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I have cards. They're all Hall of Famers that played in the 60s. Every card I have, the guy's in the Hall of Fame.
The best thing I could say is the worst thing you'd have happen is you'll get some cool cards back, and they call them a slab. It comes in a hard case, so you can't damage the card any further.
Yeah, I got them all encased.
But couldn't you, before you make the decision to send it out, you could just Google the card and probably get an estimate of what it's worth and then decide to get it graded.
Okay, all right. I might do that.
Right? Because I think you could see that they're being sold for a certain number, but then you got to confirm that it's in whatever excellent condition.
All right. Nate was just going to give me some information on that. That's good. So you want to talk about some sports.
No, he just wanted to give you information.
All right, that's
PSA.
good. I'll take that information. Now I don't know what to do. Now I'm more confused than ever.
Just give
I
him
don't
to
want
me.
to get him graded and it'll be a low grade.
Just give him to me and Ray. We promise you'll get him back.
You get nothing. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
On his back, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. A substantial raise from the 1-year contract he got last offseason to join the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, the All-Pro now going to be signed through the 2027 season. And this comes in the lead up to the legal tampering period in the NFL opening up on Monday, and then NFL free agency next week. Tonight, the 76ers return to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. The Sixers have lost 11 of their last 12 and under the night tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. You can hear the game tonight right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers host the Jets at 7 o'clock tonight, looking to bounce back after a 6-3 loss to the Flames on Tuesday. You can hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. And in spring training action today, the Phillies host the Rays with Aaron Nola on the mound. Trey Turner leading off in today's lineup with Bryce Harper in the 2-hole. This update's brought to you by Batteries Plus. At Batteries Plus, you can get a key fob for up to 50% less than at the dealership. Keys cut, key fobs programmed, and batteries replaced on the spot. Get a spare key today at Batteries Plus today. I'm Ray Dunn in the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Something percolating on Crossing Swords website. And the headline is this. Honestly, 97.5 The Fanatic has been better since the phone line stopped working. Now, that is a typical response from people who really want to think that they're better than Sports Talk Radio. And in this case, it's hard to believe that Crossing Swords would think that. But the author of this is that Kevin Kincade, and he's making the case that he mocks the callers, right, who call. Does anybody really want to hear from Bobby in the Northeast who says that traded A.J. Brown? Here's the thing. First of all, the people he calls idiots calling Sports Talk Radio are the same idiots who keep Crossing Broad afloat. So biting the hand that feeds you is never really a good idea. Now, I don't sit here and criticize Crossing Swords for the fact that they're always late to the party and they only publish repackaged crap, but you're entitled to your opinion. It's not, here's what I should let these people know. It's not the quality of the calls that count on Sports Talk Radio. It's the general engagement of the audience that counts. Nobody's going to cure cancer if they call Sports Talk Radio, but they want to be engaged in this phenomenon that's Philadelphia sports talk. So if you're going to stand on some lofty perch, for my God, from Crossing Broad, you're gonna cast aspersions downward. You're going to punch down when you sit at that level. Please, I mean, let's stop this. So now the first thing that pops up is a tweet, right? Was it a tweet, Bill? Who puts this tweet out there? That one of our pals, right?
Yeah, so
the guy's name's Cilio.
Yeah, so Dan Cilio responds right underneath of it, and of course,
now let me just tell you, this guy does stuff for that Jacob Media, that fledgling whatever it is at this point. So he has a show that I don't know who listens to it, but he says what on this?
All right, so Dan Cilio responds under it. This guy's infatuation with 97.5 is classic. Dude, if you want a job with them, I have Scott Masteller's cell. Anybody who listens to that station knows it's garbage.
So let me just point out that Dan Cilio is a misogynist, racist scumbag who has been fired from almost every radio station that he's ever worked for being a misogynist, racist scumbag. So there you go.
So we could just ignore that comment.
Yes, totally ignore it. All right?
Mike has a way with words, don't he?
610-632-0975. I mean, come on, please. Crossing Swords is going to sit there and be this like holier than thou entity that's going to criticize the people that call the radio station when that's the people who read their crap. Like, what? Come on.
What bothers me about Cilio is for months he bashed the Eagles. He bashed Jalen Hurts. He bashed every player on that damn team. And now he's the biggest Eagles fan out there. I mean, everything's just positivity and Jalen's this and Howie's that. It's like, dude, come on, man. Nobody forgets what you were doing for months.
Well, first of all, you're giving him more publicity he deserves. I think we should just we'll just stay with the MRSB, okay, as the description for him.
Yeah. Now I've had my problems with Big Sills in the past.
You're listening to 97.5 The Fanatic and WPN and WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, so Zack Baun, new deal. Everybody's happy. They signed Saquon. They signed Zack Baun. There had been really no attention paid to the other guys that we would love for them to sign, but it doesn't look like, Bill, they're going to be able to sign Becton. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to sign Milton Williams. And Darius Slay is kind of in limbo.
Yeah, when I look at the existing free agents, let's just talk about those three, Becton, Sweat, Milton Williams. I think the best shot would be Becton comes back. But I think that's a stretch as well. I think now that they've given the money to Barkley and they gave the money to Baun, I think you may see all three of those guys. The one that's going to hurt the most for me is Milton Williams. I've been high on him for the last couple of years. I think he's a lot better than some people realize that he is. I think that you'll see that in the deal he gets from another team this offseason, and the Eagles probably just won't be able to match it, which is understandable. But they're going to have to do something because they're going to have a severe lack of depth at the D-tackle position. And there's a familiar name, Mike, that I'd keep an eye on. Javon Hargrave. I would not mind if the Philadelphia Eagles, because the 49ers are releasing him, if the Eagles made the decision to bring back Hargrave to add some depth to that defensive tackle room. I know he was hurt last year, but you were talking about a torn tricep, so it's not like something you think a guy can't come back from. And in 2023, he still had 7 sacks, played 16 games. I think Hargrave coming back would make a lot of sense for you.
You know, it might make a lot of sense. He's at a cheaper price right now. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think you're probably not going to be able to pay Milton Williams. That's unfortunate.
Now, the second thing we talked about today was that it really got a lot of legs. And this is the parent feud that we didn't know anything about until now. CJGJ and Darius Slay. So let's recap this whole thing. Darius Slay got on some kind of a podcast and mentioned, he was asked about the leadership role. If Slay is no longer there, what would the leadership situation look like with the Philadelphia Eagles? And this is what he had to say. We had that?
Ray's got to pull it up.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Piece about that, yes, I do, because I do got a great leadership role in that secondary room. But I won't be surprised if Reed and them guys like Reed can, advance these guys. Reed be around me and a lot of other veterans that have been here before, and I'm sure he could lead that group the right way. Because that's who I feel will be leading the group is if we're finding in that building is Reed Blankenship, because he's a great leader. You know what I'm saying? He is a great damn leader. If they bring another veteran in that's already been playing a lot, I can see them coming in and being a leader as well. But for sure, if I'm not in that room, Reed Blankenship, will be a great, tremendous leader, a great one. And, I'm going to miss it.
Okay, so CJGJ apparently took offense to that because he wasn't mentioned as a leader. Now, Slay did say around other veterans, that would include Gardner Johnson, but he didn't mention him by name. So the tweet that came out yesterday, we originally thought that CJGJ's tweet was about them not going to him and renegotiating or giving him a little more money in the contract since they had done that with Saquon Barkley. So, Bill, what was his original tweet out there?
All right, so going way back to the first tweet was, "The slick sneak dissin is crazy." That was immediately followed up with, "You would think feelings would be mutual after a great season, but I twin keep that bleep solid."
I twin keep that bleep solid is I love that phrase. That's a sweet phrase. I'm going to use that now in my vernacular.
So then, to your point about people thinking that was about Saquon's contract, that kind of exploded, and then CJ cleared it up and said, "This has nothing to do with our team. This has zero to do with the contract." But then he started retweeting things that made it clear exactly what it was about, and it was about Darius Slay, what CJ thought was an intentional slight on him, and he tweeted all morning long. Now, the tweets have stopped. The last tweet
somebody got to him. Big Dom probably made a phone call.
The last tweet from CJ was, "This is not a crash out. I'm just keeping it real, 100."
Okay, so they got beef.
They must have some beef.
I don't. But did they have a beef during the season? And if they did, who cares? Because it didn't really amount to anything. It didn't bust the team apart. So right now, a situation, it looks like that he got butthurt over the fact that Darius Slay intentionally did not mention him, and that tweaked whatever beef they had.
Correct.
And so we're talking about it. Now, there are a lot of people say, "Well, you guys are just trying to cause trouble." And I go, "Well, but we didn't cause anything. These guys apparently have some kind of problem that was exemplified by Gardner Johnson's tweets out there. And it's a very talkable issue." Maybe Crossing Swords will pick up on this a day late.
It is a talking issue, but it may not be that big of an issue if Slay's not back next year. You seem to think it's not even going to be a big issue. They can get past it.
I don't think it's a big issue at all, even if he comes back for a year.
See, where I think the Yeah, the bigger issue could potentially be if Slay did come back and there was beef. But if this is evidence that there were maybe some issues that already pre-existed, it didn't matter. It didn't hurt them at all this season. They were able to coexist. Like, we've talked about this a lot. We talked to Torrey Smith on Radio Row about it. You don't have to love every one of your teammates. You're probably not going to love everyone on one of your teammates. But if you're able to coexist and succeed, then that's fine. I mean, you and I put on a great show, and we don't necessarily like each other. Just kidding, Mike. You know.
No, we love each other.
We love each other.
It's Ray doesn't
It's
like
Ray
you.
back there.
Ray likes me. He doesn't like you a little bit, and we like each other, and I like Ray.
Yeah, no, but really,
there's only one snag in this whole love chain.
I've been told by my representatives to stop commenting on anything related to Bill.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he did the beer.
Representatives are wise.
He did the beer picture from the airport like he always does and said, ask me anything. So I asked, do you really hate Bill? He refused to answer.
After 2 o'clock, I'm not legally obliged to do anything with regards to Bill.
But no,
wait, did you do another beer thing?
He did.
I was at the airport.
As soon as he gets there, the AMA.
Dude, I made it to the airport quick.
We may have to incorporate that as a segment. We may have to do an Ask Ray Anything segment, see what people come out with. No,
I'll be up for that.
But all seriousness, Mike, the fact that it wasn't an issue all season, if there was in fact some beef, I'm kind of with you. I don't think this is going to result in anything. But I also am starting to think, I don't think Slay's back.
Well, maybe he won't be back, but I don't think it'll be for that reason. But listen, if they had beef last year, did it hurt them? So bring him back when it hurt. Like it didn't hurt them a whit. They won a Super Bowl. They won the ultimate prize, even though there may have been a little beef there.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
All right, 610-632-0975 back after this.
The Philadelphia 76ers.
Fanatic Knockout Tournament's coming. Bill has predicted he's going to win it. It'll be March 26th on a Wednesday. I don't know if I can make that. We got a little camera situation here?
No, nothing to worry about.
Oh, okay.
Now, I did predict that I would win it, but if I'm being honest,
yeah,
I have not shot a basketball since last year's knockout tournament. So I still am confident. But the likelihood of me actually winning it, if people are going to put wagers on it, because I know people bet on this.
I'll put out the line, odds at some point.
Ray puts out the odds. I have not shot a basketball in literally 1 year, but I'll still perform.
So you're already laying the groundwork for excuses. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm like the Jalen Hurts of the station. I show up for the big moments. You know what I mean? See how Jalen showed up in 2 Super Bowls, outperformed Patrick Mahomes? You could just call me the Jalen Hurts of knockout.
Well, you know how many people are rooting for Brick City when you step to that line?
That's probably what's going to happen.
Right here, rooting for that.
See, I think Ray's got a good stroke. Ray, can you stroke?
Can you get that drop, please, Ray?
I've never.
Can you get that?
I've never seen you stroke.
Can you clip that? It was
I've never
112.
seen you stroke it, right? But I'm thinking when you step to the line, you can really stroke it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Great stroke. Great stroke.
Exactly. Now, who else here can? Who else here is Connor a good shooter?
Connor's not bad.
Who won it? From here. Somebody
Tom
won it
Alford.
from here.
Tom
Alford won it.
Tom Alford won it against Connor's brother. Those were the two last people going.
Huh.
Connor's brother's got a nice shot. But see, Salciunas and Connor play in like a men's league, right?
No, it's Salciunas does runs every week in the summer, so they're out there continuously. It's Salciunas' friend group. It's a fun time. I've been out runs with them.
Oh, you've
before.
played basketball with these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
skill level?
They're solid. No, it's a solid group of guys. I mean, they're not taking a college team.
Anybody can fire? Who can fire?
There's guys who can shoot. If Connor gets going on the right type of day, he can knock down some threes.
Really?
Yeah. And Salciunas is a pretty good game to him too.
Okay. See, I wish I could play. I wish I could turn back time.
If I could
play with those
back.
dudes, post their skinny asses up.
I gotta be honest, dude. Even at my age, running up and down on the hardwood takes its toll on the
can't
knees.
Possibly.
And that's why I love it.
Really, you can't possibly be a good basketball player, but you be muscled up. You have no flexibility on a basketball court. I'm not buying it at all. That you
I told you
have
before.
A fluid shot.
I was an ice hockey player growing up.
Yeah.
All right, so I wasn't a basketball player.
Yeah,
I have a great shot.
No, I see. I'm not.
I'm telling you, I had a nice
have
shot.
You ever seen muscly dudes have good shots? Like Bill probably has an awkward looking shot.
No, it's smooth, dude.
I think at this point he's been able to. I don't know. Your wife had a better shot than you.
Well,
which
she's
is not a shot.
She's
at
an
you.
athlete.
She's just.
Yeah,
I don't know how much I can trust about your performance last year because I feel like it was all
I see you as being awkward. I don't see you as being smooth. I don't think you're a smooth guy. You get too muscled.
Maybe before the knockout tournament, maybe me and Michael go.
Lift a lot. Like,
maybe I get 5 shots, he gets 5 shots.
You're
See who's
tight.
better.
Well, I haven't. Listen, I'm all banged up and I'm done.
Hear excuses.
I'm done as a basketball player. In my day, you wouldn't even stand a chance.
I hear excuses.
Now I heard. It's really interesting. I was listening to NBA radio this morning. Scalabrini and my buddy Frank, and somebody asked Scalabrini a question about if he played 1-on-1 with Ben Simmons, could he beat Ben Simmons in 1-on-1? And Scalabrini said if the game was up to 40, he wouldn't score a point against
LeBron
against Ben.
Oh, against Ben. Oh, I could see that.
LeBron.
I don't know why I thought LeBron. I could see that
because I can tell you why you thought LeBron. Because you're busy doing other stuff. And you don't listen to the show.
Well, I'm reading the chat. People are asking who's a better golfer.
It's so annoying when you read the show. I'm telling a story here.
I heard your story.
Jesus. It's annoying.
Ben Simmons, not LeBron.
Ben Simmons and Brian Scalabrine, former NBA player who still plays a lot. He trains young kids. In a game to 40, he said that he wouldn't score a point against Ben Simmons.
See, I think you would at least get lucky where you would.
He's a former NBA player. Like I was shocked to hear him say that.
That's what I'm saying. You could just at least make one jumper where he's not right on you, right?
I guess.
Maybe you can't take him to the basket.
I don't know, Ray. You have any opinion on that? Scalabrini's the guy that everybody. He was a journeyman NBA player. He was usually the back end of the bench type of player, but he did last a lot of years in the NBA, and he made some bones with the Boston Celtics. And so when people got to call his radio show, all these braggadocious people like Bill, the Bills of the world, would call up and say, I can beat you 1-on-1. I bet you I could hang with you 1-on-1. So Scalabrine decided to play all of them at one time, and he whipped all their asses.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes,
he beat like
this.
20 guys. And I don't think they scored a point against him. He's 6'9". That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, he would score on Ben.
He would score on Ben, wouldn't he?
Now the question is, would he score on LeBron? Let me see. No, I mean, he would have to score at least in a game to 40. He would score against Ben Simmons once. It'd be like
What Ben Simmons? Well, like, how would he score on you? Like
Ben Simmons scoring me?
He would. No, I'm saying like on him, on Scalabrine. He wouldn't shoot it. Would he shoot it?
Yeah, but I think he's still got the muscle. Like, for a guy that hasn't been in the league, I can't tell. I don't know what Scalabrine's workout regimen is. I don't think Scalabrine's hitting the gym like Bill Colarulo over there and getting himself shredded at this point. I think he's probably not exactly at the NBA fitness.
Yeah, he's not at the NBA fitness, but he works out like almost every day, and he still plays a lot of basketball. So
he would score.
Does he think he's as
when
quick
he said
as
that,
Simmons?
I don't know if he was like just trying to be self-deprecating or like I'm saying, well, you're an ex-NBA player, you'd score on him.
Well,
you're like,
people in the chat are making a good point too. If you're playing the 40, Simmons going to be looking to pass the whole time, so it's going to take forever for him to get 40 points. So you probably got a better shot.
Well, yeah, that's going to be the issue. When
and
it
he's
gets
not
to the
going to make a layup either. So where can he score?
So you got a shot.
I think the perimeter defense, like the ability of Simmons to defend him, is probably where he's coming from there. That
Probably.
he doesn't think that he can really score against a player of Simmons' caliber defensively.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think it's very much.
All right, what's the
offensive
text board saying these days?
For the text board, we got some people that want to check in on the CJ thing from earlier, and it was a long rant that was lost at the time of the text board, basically telling Darius Slay to stop running his mouth everywhere he goes. It's no longer our problem, but for Darius Slay's benefit, they wanted him to stop talking, and they think that all this goes back to the Micah Parsons podcast from earlier this season.
What? Like I told you, I'm not a big fan of Darius Slay, but what did he say that was so objectionable? Well, like, why does he have to stop talking? He was asked a question about the leadership now that he wouldn't be back there.
Yeah, if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson doesn't respond, it wasn't as if
Like it's his own podcast.
Yeah, but no one would have taken what Darius Slay said and ran with it in any way. Like, I don't think we would have been talking about it today. Did you hear Slay didn't mention Chauncey yesterday? The only reason that it became a talking point was because CJ responded and made a big deal about it.
Yes, but listening to that from CJ's perspective, if you listen to that clip from CJ's perspective, it is like almost like an overboard, like, let's throw every single flower at Reed Blankenship's feet and let's go mention about some other veteran coming in there. Listening to it from CJ's perspective, knowing what we know now, I'd be annoyed too.
But I get that.
Not to defend the way he's handled this, but I think I'd be annoyed too.
If CJ didn't tweet a damn thing about it, we would not have looked at what he said about Reed Blankenship talking about Darius Slay and had any opinion, oh, wow, that was over-the-top praise. He intentionally left CJ. The only reason it became a talking point was because of CJ's response, not because of Slay's initial comments.
If Ray was asked in an interview about the station, and Ray said, well, we have some really good young talent here. We have Andrew, we have Connor, and he went through the whole thing, and he didn't mention Bill.
Well, I'm not young.
What would you? Well, you're young enough to be mentioned.
I'm gonna be 42.
Yeah, but you were young enough to be mentioned. Would you have the red ass like CJGJ?
No, because contrary to popular belief, I know how Ray feels about it. Even though we have this fun shtick, I would
say no.
I know he's my bud back there.
610.
I love you, Ray.
632.
You don't know basketball.
0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Done with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. A sizable raise from his 1-year deal that he signed to become an Eagle just a year ago. The All-Pro now signed through the 2027 season. And this all comes, of course, in lead up to the legal tampering period opening up in the NFL on Monday ahead of the open of free agency next week. Tonight, the 76ers return to action against the Celtics in Boston at 7:30. Sixers have lost 11 of their last 12 games. Enter the night tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. You can listen to the game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Flyers host the Jets at 7 o'clock tonight, looking to bounce back after a 6-3 loss to the Flames on Tuesday. You can hear that game on our sister station, WMMR. In spring training action today, the Phillies host the Rays with Aaron Nola on the mound. Trey Turner leads off in today's lineup with Bryce Harper batting second. This update is brought to you by Electrical Workers Local 269 and the Electrical Training Alliance. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 269 will be accepting applications starting January 1st until March 31st at IBEW269.com. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show 97.5. The Fanatic. All over the place today. Got the Sixers tonight against the Celtics. Got the Flyers and the Jets. That's a tough. What's the line on the Flyers Jets tonight, Bill?
Jets are definitely going to be favored. Let me see.
What's the puck line?
It's not actually that bad. Flyers are plus 118.
Is this game is home game?
It's in Philly, yeah. Jets are minus 142.
Huh.
So, but Jets are a good team.
They are a very good team.
The Flyers have been playing hard. I mean, they didn't look good against Calgary. That was mainly goaltending.
What is your opinion? You haven't given the opinion on the results of the Flyers this year. Do they look like a team that's making progress? All you Flyer fans, are they making progress? Enough progress for you, or the progress seems a little bit slow for my taste, to be honest.
It has been slow. I mean, you got to be patient, but they're certainly making progress. Simply having Michkov
You have
here.
to be patient.
You do.
You do? They've been patient for 50 years, this fan base.
I've never seen a cup.
You have to be patient? Really? You're buying that rot?
I've
they
never
have to
seen a
They
cup.
have to be patient?
Look, they're hopefully building it the right way.
Such a homer, man.
You're hopefully building it the right way.
It's funny. You can throw criticism at every other organization. You refuse. Just like most other Flyer fans, you refuse to throw criticism.
Well, it's hard to be overly critical when this regime just took over. Like, you could be critical of what's happened before Keith Jones and Danny Breyer took over, but I think what they're doing over the last year and a half to 2 years, I like the direction.
What direction is it?
Well, they've gotten younger. They were able to get Michkov here, which people thought wasn't going to happen. That's huge in of itself. They got out from the mess where they were able to get Gauthier out of here, and they get Jamie Drysdale, who's looked good the last couple of weeks. I like Owen Tippett a lot. There's players on this team that you could see them building around. They're going to probably trade deadlines coming up. You're probably going to see Lawton gone. You'll probably see Ristolainen gone. You'll get another first-round pick. They got tons of draft capital. You have to be patient and give these guys a chance, is what I'm saying.
How long do you give these guys before you start judging them? I like Keith Jones, too. I like Danny Breer, too.
I would say
it's a matter of not liking of people.
Yeah,
I try not to say, well, I like these guys, so I'm going to be patient with them.
I'm talking about the job they're doing, I like. Personally,
you
I'm
do.
put it aside.
They
You
haven't
like
made,
the
they haven't made progress.
They have. They took over the team.
Progress comes in standings.
Yeah, but I guess you're right. But, I mean, they're not.
Don't they have an all-world coach? They supposed to have an all-world coach supposed to do something with lesser talent?
You're not a fan of.
I'm just asking the question. It seems like every other coach gets ripped. How come Tortorella has immunity?
Tortorella does get a little bit of immunity.
He gets total immunity. Oh, Torts. You know, these chummy nil nicknames make people lack judgment on certain teams.
Listen, I would say, when I say be patient, this should be a playoff team within the next 2 years. Even next season, I'm not sure you're going to see this team being ready to compete. But 2 years from now, I expect them to be in the playoffs. Not necessarily a Stanley Cup team, but in the playoff.
They are at the bottom of the Metropolitan standings right now. So the best that you're telling we can hope for is in 2 years they'll make the playoffs? That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yes. You got to be patient.
Right.
They're young,
Are
dude.
we judging the Flyers by a different standard than we normally
They are
judge
a young
teams in
team.
this city?
I mean, I think they're getting graded right now on like the Sixers process scale. If you believed what the Sixers did in that time to rebuild was right, then I think that they're getting graded by that metric right now. I think people that did the early season delusions of this team's going to the playoffs probably find themselves a little disappointed right now. But if you bought that, then I can't really say that you're grading them fairly, because I don't think anyone should have came in this season with playoff expectations for them.
They are the essence of mediocrity. 27-27. They have a differential of minus 25, which is third worst in the conference. Come on, Bill. You got to be a better team than that by now. I mean, look at the teams that are ahead of them.
Yeah, but if you look at some of the guys they have on this team and the direction that they're headed, there's a lot to be excited about with the future. They're acquiring assets, and they have a lot of good young players.
Well, Flyer fans are just different. I just gotta, I'll leave it at that.
I hate to
Flyer fans are different.
Crush the hockey talk that we're having right now.
Yeah.
I know that Mike really looks forward to this time to show.
Is this about Slay?
Slay tweeted.
Uh-oh.
I can't see it.
Slay came out and tweeted.
What'd he say?
We just won a Super Bowl together. I do not have no problem or hate towards bruh. Reed is in our leadership council, which is why I said what I said. I would expect him to be the next guy up. It's nothing but love on my end. If you really know me, y'all have a blessed day. Hashtag world champs.
Well,
I'm all right
he's
with that.
taking the high road.
Yeah, it's a great response from
Slay
Slay.
taking the high road. I got no problems with bruh.
You know, it is. Like, I've had issues with some of the things Slay has done on social media, but I think you got to put all the blame on CJ in this situation. Because like I said earlier, I think if CJ doesn't tweet, none of us are talking about it. And if that is, in fact, the case, that Reed Blankenship is on the leadership council, I love everything Chauncey Gardner-Johnson brings to that defense. He's the dog, as they say. But he's also the guy that gets kicked out of games. He's also the guy that maybe, works on the edge a little bit. And that's fine. That's his role on the team.
Right. His role is the edge, not the leader.
Exactly. His role is to set the tone and to be that guy that's going to jaw at people and maybe punch somebody in the mouth when they need it. And you need that. But not everybody's a leader, and that's fine. CJ's wrong in this situation. Okay, big play Slay. I'm going to call him big play Slay when he does something well. I like that response. Back to hockey talk. You're getting killed in the chat.
Of course I'm getting killed in the chat. I always
want you banned from talking hockey.
I always get killed by Flyer fans, and all I do is make sense, and people just don't want to hear the truth.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
No, it is. People don't want to hear the truth. This is a very the progress has been terribly slow with this new regime. They are mediocre. They are 27-27. They're not going to make the playoffs again. What are we talking about here? Everybody makes the frickin' playoffs.
Okay, here is the issue. This is why I said you got to be patient, all right? Danny Briere was hired March 10th of 2023. So we are not even 2 years to the day that Briere was hired. I thought Chuck Fletcher did a terrible job, okay? He was here for 5 years, Fletcher. Before that, you had Hextall, who was just overly patient. Holmgren didn't do a good job. So I like the direction that this team is headed, but you got to give them some time.
You like the direction of all these ex-Flyers being in charge. That's the direction that you like. You just told me of every ex-Flyer that failed.
Well, not Chuck
and now this particular group is going to succeed because everybody loves ex-Flyers. There's a fondness with the Keith Jones and the Danny Brieres and the Paul Holmgrens and the Ron Hextalls of the world. There's a fondness, and so you get a break. You don't get judged like the other teams get judged.
All right.
Do you not agree with that?
Well, here's what I don't like that I think you're being hypocritical on. You are a fan of the Sixers process. You are a fan with intentionally losing to try to give yourselves the best chance going forward. And the Flyers are not at that point. They're not the process. They're not trying to be the worst team in the NHL. But what they're trying to do now that Briere and Keith Jones have taken over is, look, we're not going to make short-term moves just to make the playoffs. We're going to try to build this thing right so we have a true competitor.
There is nothing
in the NHL
that is similar to the process to this. Because in the process, you're getting top 2, top 3, number 1 picks that go immediately into the league and make an impact immediately into the league. Hockey players, you don't do that with hockey. You draft you have to. It's not the same. Don't compare the process to what the Flyers do.
They have a lot of young talent, is what I like. All right? They're going to be a good team. We can have this conversation in 2 years.
Is it possible that you're overrating their young talent? Because if they had a lot of young talent, they'd be at the bottom end of the playoffs and get into playoffs.
Well, they are at the bottom end of the playoffs.
They're not getting in.
I don't think
you even predicted.
Yes, I don't think they're going to get in. But they're 27-27. You said they're the definition of mediocrity.
They are. Isn't that the definition of mediocrity?
Yeah, and with a very young team, I'm completely okay with mediocrity. If these guys couldn't play, they wouldn't be 500. They'd be a lot worse than that.
How many teams are worse than 500 in the whole league? In the whole league, how many teams are worse than 500?
We got 1, 2,
3, 4.
6 teams.
6 teams. 6 teams in the whole league are worse than 500. It's almost impossible not to make the playoffs.
They got more wins than the 76ers, Mike.
Oh, my God.
More wins than the Sixers.
This is such a typical
hit it, Ray!
South Jersey hockey situation that we got going right now. Little Billy growing up in South Jersey, going to the rink.
Oh, dude, I used to get
Flyers. They trained right down the street from me.
I used to get dropped off at the Coliseum, man, getting autographs and everything. When I was a kid, that was my sport.
Hey, you haters when they actually build something. then you call me. Okay, because I'll be glad to talk about hockey when they actually build something instead of year after year. Well, they're building. Oh, they're trying to get young players. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And the only reason that they get leeway by Flyer fans is because ex-Flyers are in charge. It has been like that from time memorial.
Simple question, Mike. Who's closer to a championship, the Flyers or the Sixers?
It's irrelevant. Because you're talking about 5 years for both teams. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
97.5 The Fanatics Knockout Tournament is back Wednesday, March 26th.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Coming down the home stretch with a lot of things that we talked about today. And believe it or not, Darius Slay comes out as the more mature person today. It's hard to believe, but he became the more mature person. CJ Gardner-Johnson. At the end of the day, this is not going to mean a hill of beans, right? But, the fact of the matter is that Slay, I don't think, did anything wrong. And CJ Johnson got butthurt over not being included favorably in Slay's comments. When, I don't think Slay was making a judgment against him at all. Do you think it was do you think he was actually trying to be passive-aggressive by not mentioning?
You talking about Slay?
Gardner Johnson?
Well, that's why I was saying is this just Chauncey Gardner-Johnson being overly sensitive? Or is there a history that we don't know about that would lead him to believe that Slay was doing it intentionally? But when I see Slay's response here, it doesn't appear that there was anything. Maybe it was just CJ being overly sensitive. Because if CJ didn't respond the way he did, we're not talking about this. No one cares what Slay would have said. Slay touting Reed Blankenship, I don't know. Maybe he was just being overly sensitive. Now, I don't love what Slay had to say about not including Jalen Hurts in the elite quarterback conversation. But Ray says that if you listen to the whole podcast, he does give Jalen his flowers earlier. But this may just be CJ being a little bit overly sensitive.
Well, totally overly sensitive. It always seems like he needs a battle. If that's what makes him go, that's fine. Whatever.
But people in the chat absolutely believe Slay was being passive-aggressive.
Yeah. Well, he might have been, and and I know you need to be mature to say, well, I don't care. He didn't mention my name. Who cares? I'm still an important member of this team. He's not any longer. So there's that. You can trust somebody to be mature enough to say, who cares?
Yeah.
If, for example, talking about this show, someone asked me something about working with you guys, and I just kept being effusive in my praise of Mike and didn't mention Bill at all. Bill, would you take that some type of way?
Bill would be. Yeah.
Here's the difference, though. I think here's the difference. There's only two of us. You're talking about a 53-man roster.
Working at the Fanatic.
But I think it's different because it depends on what you were talking about. Like, if you were touting Mike for something that I'm not, like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I love what he brings to this team. I love it. I love the attitude. I think it was a swagger that this team was missing 2 years ago. They needed it. But I also don't look at Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as a captain. I just don't think he has that type of personality. Not everyone is a captain. There's a reason why there's only a few of them.
Yeah, but that's not what Ray's asking you. Ray, you might be right in your analysis. However, if you're the person who hears it, like you're going to hear Ray give effusive praise to me but not mention you in some kind of an interview, what are you going to think?
Like, listening to that clip, ultimately, the number of times he says Reed, says Blankenship, he goes on and on about him. I know it's only like a 40-second clip, but it feels like it's like 5 minutes worth of praise he's given to Reed Blankenship, and then intentionally mentions going outside the building where a veteran could come in and lead that room. If there's already just the slightest bit of tension between you and that person, or the slightest bit of feeling like, oh, I don't know whether or not he regards me as that leader, or he has made it clear that he doesn't regard me as a leader, or doesn't respect me in what way, I feel like CJ, again, you don't justify the full reaction, because crashing out on Twitter is not the way that you should go about handling that. But I can see why CJ is bothered by the way that response comes across if I'm in the shoes of CJ.
Now, here's the example to take it further. If you did give me effusive praise and didn't mention Bill, and Bill did get butthurt, then Bill brings it up on the air instead of saying, hey, Ray,
I don't know. I would imagine that it would be one of those like selfie videos that Bill would take, and it would be, this is how I'm addressing the situation with Ray.
Instant reaction to Ray Dunn taking his passive aggression.
He does do that. He does do those selfie videos. In fact, he was just doing one, right?
Yeah. Instant reaction to what Ray Dunn had to say about Mike Missanelli.
I threw a sour worm at him and hit him as he was recording.
Yeah, he messed me up.
Now, would you have continued? Would you have stopped? Because that's actually a good moment. Because like if he would have posted that, it's like, look at that, man. He got hit with somebody threw a gummy worm. That's funny, and he still continued.
You tried to distract me yesterday. It didn't work.
Instead, he stopped the taping.
Yeah,
right?
he stopped.
Yeah, that's kind of unprofessional by you.
But I'm doing I'm the unprofessional one. I'm doing a serious video.
On the ropes.
I get hit in the face with a gummy worm, and I'm unprofessional for not continuing.
That's absolutely right.
No, if you posted that, people go, "Oh, look at that! Must have been Missanelli that threw a gummy worm at him, right?" And you would have had that would have been added to you. First of all, let's face it. You're doing these little things like people think you care about what you're saying, though. If they had a gummy worm thrown at it, it would have been more intriguing.
Then it would get more viral.
I loved doing post-game this year and then getting through the first segment, opening up my phone to go on social media.
And getting my instant reactions?
Immediately, first thing that pops up, Bill's face. Instant reaction to the Eagles beating the Bengals.
Hey, people started to expect it, man.
I know.
I just give the people what they want.
Hey, listen, it's all about content.
By the way, speaking of content, A.J. Brown has now weighed in on the Slay situation.
No.
Oh, boy.
What's going on with this thing?
A very simple tweet by A.J. Brown, but it does say a lot. Eagles community is so messy, brah.
What?
That's what A.J. Brown
What does
said.
that mean? Eagles community is so messy. What does that mean? That there's disarray in the ranks?
Or this is AJ taking a shot at the city saying, look, you guys are blowing this up. You're blowing this up.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is.
Is that what it is?
That's
How
for
are we
sure
blowing this up? You know, these people can kiss my rump. Seriously. We're blowing this up? This thing has been going on for all day now with CJ Gardner-Johnson. Come on, man.
I mean, I'll be honest. I was glued to the radio this morning as all the tweets were coming in because I'm obviously not scrolling and driving, so I'm listening to Salciunas and DeCecco this morning as I'm coming in, and Andrew's reading off those tweets as it's happening. CJ's tweeting away. CJ was full of content the last 48 hours. This has been intriguing stuff.
It's compelling. Hey, AJ, leave the commentary to us that you play the football. All right, we'll do the radio. Well, we understand what's talkable, what's not talkable. If you're saying that, you know, it's messy that Philly people talk about these kind of things, we're not causing any trouble. We're just reacting to stuff that's already out there.
And we got a bigger feud going now.
What's that?
So we just teased maybe about an hour ago. Should we do a Ask Me Anything segment for Ray Dunn?
Yeah,
because he does the Ask Me Anything from the airport. 24 minutes ago. Somebody just tweets a new thing. Fans, it's your time. Ask me anything you've ever wanted to know. I'll sit down later and record my answers. You know who it was?
Who?
Allen Iverson.
Oh.
He's trying to steal your thunder, Ray Dunn. Allen Iverson now has an Ask Me Anything on Twitter.
Come on, AI.
Come on, man.
I swear if he does this at an airport with a beer, I will be livid.
Oh, man. So I for the first time ever, I put up the chat board. The YouTube.
You did. You couldn't figure out where it was. You got mad at me.
I finally got it. I put it on my screen, and I'm looking at it. Somebody goes, Mike just made a case on the case for why it's tougher to rebuild in hockey. No, that's not. I didn't make the case why it's tougher to be rebuilt in hockey. Bill compared it to the process. When you lose intentionally, that's the way you improve yourself in the NBA. If you lose intentionally in hockey, not necessarily you improve yourself because there's such a long road to get from where you're going to be drafted to the NHL. I know there's junior hockey. I know there's college hockey. But even when you're drafted high, there's no guarantee that you're going to improve that team.
My point wasn't that this was identical to the process. My point was that you were in favor of the process, and what the Flyers are trying to do is be different than what they did for so many years, which was take those big swings all the time and bring in older players. They're trying to build it the right way.
I'm not saying that they should do that. What I'm saying is the younger players they have on this team should be better than what they are. They should be coached better. It's not that difficult to make the playoffs in the NHL. This team has shown a penchant that they could be a playoff team. And then all of a sudden they lose again. And then they'll win. And then they'll lose too. And then they'll win. They're a mediocre team. They should be better. That's what I'm saying. If the young players they have should be better.
Listen, I will allow you to have these opinions when you come to a game with me and you're ditching me on Sunday because you got to go to a book signing. I'm hurt. So now I'm bringing my little cousin.
I don't know that I'd be welcome in the building.
We'll have more fun.
Oh, these Flyer fan haters.
I'm not renewing my season tickets next year.
You're not?
Nah.
What?
I know.
But they're on the come, Bill.
I know.
You're going to miss all the action.
I know. I'm a little embarrassed to admit it.
Why not?
Well, because of with the kids and everything, it's becoming harder to go to the games. So I told my wife, we're going to take the money we would have paid for season tickets. We're going to put it into an account. That's going to be our ticket fund. And whenever we want to go to anything, we'll pull from the ticket fund, and it'll probably be still money in there than what it costs for season tickets.
You'll be able to get a good seat at a Flyers game, won't you?
Yeah, the issue with the season tickets, though, is you pick your, you get all these games before the season starts, and there's like Monday nights, there's like this weekend, I got Saturday and Sunday. Well, I can't go Saturday.
Give me an idea how much you can get a Flyer ticket for.
So this, like, per game?
Per game, like if you like to say, I want to go to that game next week, you go on StubHub or whatever. What do the tickets go for? Good seat.
All right, well, let's pull it up. Let's see what's tonight.
All right,
you got
ahead.
the Winnipeg Jets tonight, which is the best team in hockey, down at the Wells Fargo. So let's see. What's today? The 6th? If you want to be first level, 2 tickets, you're looking at, oh, my God. Not as bad as the Sixers, but bad. You could sit center ice for tonight's game, $30. They got tickets for
Where?
$69 on StubHub, dude.
Okay, I'm on a different.
Section 101, row 6, seats 9 and 10 is $30.
Wow.
That's the thing.
Well,
It costs
see,
me.
to save your money. You can buy those tickets next year too.
So I sit
Those
center
kind of
ice.
prices.
Yeah, I sit center ice. Cost me a lot more than $60 a ticket, I'll tell you that.
How much is a ticket to a Flyers game these days?
Face value?
Face value.
Hold on, I'll do the math because I'll just look at what I paid per seat on my season tickets. So 44 games. To sit center ice, great seats, it was $135 a ticket.
$135 a ticket.
That's face value, yeah. So, I mean, it's not.
Now, how does that compare to what's a Sixer ticket? Center court.
Ray, you would know this. You're the season ticket holder.
Well, no, it's been well documented on this show that I don't sit center court.
Right.
So I wouldn't know how much those cost.
They pay Ray. Ray doesn't pay for it. They pay him to sit up there. That's how much it costs.
We just found out that they are not going to raise our prices.
Flyers are trying to raise it.
Well,
all right.
I
So
haven't quite
is
got
it
the part I gotta pay
comparable?
for this year.
Like a first deck ticket, would that come out to $135 for the Sixers, or is that more?
I'm not sure what season tickets are to the Sixers. We'll have to get that answer. All right, hold on. Before we get out of here, A.J. Brown's been tweeting more.
Oh, what's he
You
saying?
want the updates
yeah,
here?
Go ahead. What's the update?
So after he wrote, Eagles community is so messy, brah, he just wrote, like y'all pick sides if it's not your favorite player. Weird behavior, for real.
Well, why is he putting the blame on everybody else? Where does A.J. Brown get all putting the blame on anybody else? Who's he blaming? Fans? Media?
And then he retweets a video somebody posted saying Slay went on a podcast and was sneak dissing Devontae Smith. AJ quote tweeted it and said, "This caption is lame." ASL. What's ASL?
I actually think that.
What's ASL mean?
I actually think that guy was joking. That said he was sneak dissing Devontae Smith.
It was
So
sarcastic.
I think he didn't get the sarcasm.
Yeah, because he put laughing emojis. But what's ASL?
Do you think
right?
AJ Brown's listening to us right now? AJ Brown's tuned in. He's upset with us. If you could say anything to AJ Brown right now, what would you say?
If I could say anything to AJ Brown?
Right, if he's listening right now.
Thank you.
Age, sex, and location. That's what ASL means.
No, it's got to mean something else.
It's not American Sign Language.
That's not American Sign Language. ASL means to mean as hell.
Oh,
ASL,
so this
as
caption
hell.
is lame as hell is what he
Yeah,
means.
lame as ASL. Hell.
Yeah, I can't keep up.
Yeah. It's
I can't keep up with it all.
who's he blaming?
Well, look,
See, this is where AJ annoys me every now and then. I know he's everybody's favorite player. But
He's not. I agree with AJ, not on this one, but I do agree on it with AJ. And I said this before. I think that people have been unfair to him.
Oh, stop!
I'm
it.
serious, man.
Oh, stop it,
Mike. The whole summer,
Oh,
I had to be
God.
on this station talking about how it would be dumb to trade the guy when people were trying to create trade rumors
who
for him.
idiots were trying to trade him. That doesn't mean that, like he what they put him through a ringer because
He's-
somebody said they should trade him.
He's
Stop
going to
it.
go. He's going to go down as the best wide receiver the Eagles have ever
Oh
had.
man, you are so soft. You're getting soft, Bill. I tended you up with that flyer talk.
What's your
Everybody
sheet say? Are
have
we
a-
out of here?
Yeah, we're out of here. Everybody have a great rest of the day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Baun is back. I'm ready done with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles gave Zack Baun a 3-year, $51 million contract yesterday to avoid the linebacker hitting the open market next week. The All-Pro will now be signed through the 2027 season. This, of course, comes in the lead up to the legal tampering period in the NFL opening up Monday.